So it's like a little, like, to be honest, I didn't think it was going to be this tight, but it's pretty tight. So, are we live?
Yeah, just hit the live button.
Well, great.
You can get a fist in there?
You can get a fist in there. It's pretty, you don't even really have to work your way up to it. You don't see these during Star Wars movies. Phantom Menace was re-released 25th anniversary. They need like a Jar Jar Binks one of these. I don't know what body part they'll use, but
maybe his mouth.
Maybe his mouth with a big massive tongue that comes out. I think you could do something like that.
You could have gone with the Sarlacc, but instead you went with Jar Jar.
I could have.
Yeah, the Sarlacc is like Star Wars' Dune, whatever that thing is.
Sandworm.
Right.
Molly, you haven't seen Dune yet, have you?
I saw the first one. I didn't see the second.
Who cares about Dune? Bad Batch.
How'd you see
bros?
it? No, hold on. How'd you see Dune 2?
I got a special invite from Warner Brothers. We're really closely connected. Mm-hmm. They really like my channel.
So you're
big fans. No, I'm just kidding. It's literally a fan first event that anybody could buy. It was a special screening Sunday night IMAX at like 400 theaters nationwide. So
sick.
I snagged a ticket and I thought it was awesome.
It was good.
I thought it was really good. If you like the first one, I think you're really going to like it. If you're a super hardcore fan of the book, there are things that are left out or changed a little bit or things like that. I'm kind of in the middle. Like, I've read Dune once or twice in my life. I like it, but I'm not like a lore expert on it or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I could tell some of the things that were changed, but overall, as a cinematic experience, probably the best I've had in like several years. It's really good. Yeah, it's you got to go watch on the biggest screen you can. It's amazing.
Cool. Okay, and I'll get one of those popcorn buckets.
They're gonna sell out, I think. So
it's crazy how like something like that becomes a meme and then it just does so well with sales.
They had to know. There's no way whoever designed this didn't know it like looks like a fleshlight.
Yeah.
Like there's no way.
Yeah.
Denis Villeneuve has like a quote out there about like somebody asked him about it. He's like, the first time I saw it, I was like, holy smokes, what the fuck is this? Like that's an exact quote from Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah.
If that's how you say his name, Mahler's the expert on European pronunciation.
That's what I thought too when I entered the stream and I saw your fist in it. But anyways.
I think you're pretty on point with that pronunciation. Also, did you see his quote about dialogue?
Yeah, and I think that I think I get what he's saying. I don't think he's straight up saying I hate words. I think more what he's saying that, like, especially when it's like extended exposition and things like that.
Bro,
get in the way of like
how much work do you have to do to clean up someone's statements if he just says I hate dialogue and it's like infected from TV and theater? It's like what the fuck? Like, what's wrong with theater? What's wrong with TV? There's like there's so many things about the way that he said it. It's just like, what are you talking about?
I'd like to see, like,
he said, I don't remember movies for good lines. I remember movies for strong imagery. It's like, what are you talking about? There's so many famous movie lines in your own movies.
Yeah, I mean, again, I would like to see the like whole thing from him, especially because half the time we get quotes from him, they're in French translated to something else. So I'd like to see the initial one, like the one specifically about Dune Part 2 was mistranslated as to say somebody else is the main character instead of Paul, which was like not the case, not what he actually said, and not what the case either. You know what I mean?
Lots of him, right, saying that he doesn't like exposition or something. As part of the quote, he says he wouldn't mind making a film with absolutely no words in it.
Well, depending on how many women are in it, I might agree.
I would love the experiment of having no dialogue, but the fact that he hates it is fucking crazy.
I know I know what I have to say now to get theory off stream. Like, all I have to do is mention women in some sort of derogatory way, joking way, whatever, and he'll just gone. Give me a second.
Women and bad, and then he's like,
just lean into it now, man.
Madam Web would have done better without dialogue.
Yeah, I love dialogue in Madam Web. What do you mean? It's so good.
You know, it didn't have a lot of dialogue. Was Bad Batch.
Fuck, here we
go. See, Taylor knows. Taylor associates you with me.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, but he's French, Mola.
Yeah, exactly. He's French. You got to have context.
All right. So the Bad Batch, season 3. You guys loved it. Mahler's favorite.
How do we do it? Should we do like everyone choose a number overall for 3 episodes and slap it all down at the same time so that none of us can influence each other before we get those numbers?
Yeah, right. Give me a second.
So like overall, 1 out of 10 for the
As a
first
story,
3
episodes 1, 2, and 3 together out of 10. What'd you give it?
I don't want to influence.
I'm going first. Or are we all going to go
Well,
at the same
should we
time?
all
Well,
the same
all
time?
the same time. So on the count of 5. 1, 2.
Count of 5.
I'm still thinking.
Right.
4, 5, 4.5.
3.
All right.
We're pretty close. We're pretty damn close.
Yeah, not too far off.
I really want to know what Mahler thought about his entire experience, because this is the first time you've seen any type of Clone Wars animated style show.
Let me tell you, fellas, it was wacky. Watching that
this was
previously
his
on was
introduction.
hilarious. It was just like a bunch of nonsense to me. Like it was like
Just don't let it derail you from the actual Clone Wars.
No, of course, no. Listen, this show that I'm running with you fuckers is gonna get me through that whole thing probably, and I'll do it right. It's part of my
Tales. You still got to Tales of the Jedi.
Exactly. And Bad Batch. I know what Bad Batch isn't. Clone Wars isn't. Rebels isn't. Tales isn't. You know, they're all they live in their own little worlds. But yeah. I mean, you know, the previously on. I actually watched the previously on before and after the 3 episodes, and it didn't make any more sense after that or before that. But still, I followed the story of these 3 episodes, and oh boy.
Well, I can tell you the story of 1 was it only needed to be about 5 minutes long. It would have been like, hey, Omega's been here a long time, and it's the same thing every fucking day.
I'm
surprised tired of that dripping faucet.
Why have a previously on Bad Batch as a series without just doing a quick like this is this guy, this is this, like as in like character names, right? Because like the previously on basically covered very specific information, and I was like, it showed Tech dying, quote unquote. And I was like, okay, I remember you guys talking about that, but everything else pretty much was just a blur. I was like,
and if we ever followed orders.
We're in season 3 now.
No, I know, but like, if you're gonna have a previously, which I don't think helped that much at all.
You know, I think the point of previously is not for people who have literally never watched it ever before. I believe the point of previously is for people that watched it last year and just want to be reminded of the bullet points to like bring back.
Fair enough. But what am I to do? All right. You guys put me on this path. Okay.
You got to go watch season 2's first episode so that you get a previously of season 1.
That's true. Actually, that's what you should have done.
Yeah, you should have done that.
There you go.
Or just watch my breakdown videos. There you go. Thanks for the view. Like and subscribe. But yeah, no, the first 2, I was like, okay, she's here. It's pretty dark, very dark style of Star Wars, since we haven't really gotten too much of that, and pretty melancholy. And then the third one, I was like, oh shit, Palpatine's in. Okay, this is cool. But then it's like he goes to the freaking thing, and it's literally the same chamber as Exegol, and I'm like, really?
Hemlock, I see Project Necromancer is proceeding exactly as planned. Yes, Emperor, everything is happening as you have foreseen, or whatever.
Oh, shit, that's a good Hemlock.
I don't know. I just got, that was my one shot.
Were you the one recording?
Yeah, it was me, actually. It was me.
Okay.
Me and Dave actually have a really long relationship. So,
yeah. Hey, Ryan, it's nice to see you. Can you maybe...
I heard he has a fetish for getting ass fucked, so he likes listening to me rip into him. Believe
the actor's Jesse Simpson, who has popped up in a couple of things. He's in Westworld for that character Hemlock, I think.
For Hemlock,
yeah.
Isn't it Jimmy?
Well, Jimmy Simpson. Sorry, not
Jesse. Jimmy Simpson. Yeah. I know Jimmy Simpson best for his work on God, what is it? I know Jimmy Simpson best for his work on Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Have you seen that, Mahler?
I've seen some of it, not all of it.
Oh my god, his character's great in that. What about you, Theory? Always Sunny?
No, never seen that.
All right. Never mind then.
Anyways, yeah, so it's just like
not in it, so
it's just like Exegol. Yeah, no. Yeah. So it's just like Exegol, and then we get to the point where he's looking through the thing and everyone's like, holy shit, that's Snoke. I thought it was Snoke too, but wouldn't it be cool if it was just like a young him? and then Snoke is just some like completely fucked up version of what they had to do with a Plan B. Right? So, because there were in the comics, Luke ends up beating the shit out of Snoke, and that's why he's got all these scars and disfigurements. I don't know if Dave's going to go along with that. But what I would like to happen, if they're going along...
Stop saying that. I don't know if Dave's going to go along with that.
Well, I don't.
Like, for the past 4 years, all we've been hearing from people that are, like, trying to cope is like, well, I'm sure John and Dave aren't going towards the sequels. And then literally everything they've ever done, starting in Mando season 1, on to 2, on to 3, Bad Batch, right? Ahsoka, like all of this stuff is meant to tie completely into the sequels and to explain away the sequels. The last 5 years of Star Wars storytelling has been an attempt to explain away one decision by J.J. Abrams that was made like at the snap of a finger because we're fucked. What do we do for Rise of Skywalker? Well, we got to explain Palpatine now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't it be cool if it was not that? And he created some sort of like, this is not Snoke. This is something completely different. Maybe it's like a young him who gets, I don't know, killed or destroyed.
Don't you think that's what I think Project Necromancer is making
Snoke?
Palpatine? No, it's Palpatine. It's like
Yeah.
That's what I think Project Necromancer is.
Same.
Period.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That'd be cool. That would be exactly what I expect. He wants to ensure that he's being able to make these clones and live on forever, type of thing.
Yeah. So I don't think it's Snoke. Like that's all I care about. I don't want it to be fucking Snoke again.
Oh,
so what I want to
okay.
see the story of him making young Palpatine and it possibly working, and then something happens where, who knows, like the batch gets destroyed or the information or data gets destroyed or the lab gets whatever. And then Snoke is like some Plan B bullshit that they had to create.
You'd like that.
Well, what else? What other option? Would you rather it be Snoke?
I don't care about any of the clone nonsense science plotline. I want fucking character stuff. That's what I'm here for.
Oh, well, you're not going to get that in the Bad Batch.
I mean, there's pieces. I'd even have some levels of praise for some of the minor things that they did, but mostly criticism.
Ooh.
I actually think that it's going to be interesting when Mueller goes back and watches all the TCW, because specifically like the first episode of Bad Batch, there has been in Bad Batch in general, there's been an attempt to be more serious and have like more cinematography almost in this type of animation than there was in like the standalone Clone Wars series. Like undoubtedly that's like a big attempt they're pushing for. And the first episode, it almost felt to me like they were really pushing hard with these long pauses between dialogue and long lingering shots on things. And I'm like, man, it feels like this episode could have only been 10 minutes long and they're really like extending it out.
For sure.
So it's going to be interesting when Mauler goes back and watches the first like seasons of TCW, and it's just like so silly.
Well, for reference, I have seen season 1 of TCW. Like I saw that a few years ago. I think I tried to watch it. I think I got halfway through like season 2 and then I gave up. But yeah, it was a very wacky child show, right? Like it's like a 10-minute sequences of funny battles that happen and chill thing. You know, like it's very chill. It's very almost wholesome and supposed to be ended. Feels like something that you like put on between lessons in school or something. It's just like, look now, welcome to this fun adventure.
You have it on like in the background while you're like folding laundry or making a sandwich or something.
Yeah. Not heavy.
You know, that's the best type of content.
You know, Bad Batch opening is like it's like rainy and this big landscape shot, and this like all kinds of soundtracks to create the mood. Then the troopers are coming out of like a ship, and it's like, what are we gonna do? And it's like the guy is like abandoned them. No one survives outside the perimeter. And it's like, ooh yeah. Then you hear screaming, and he turns off the thing. I was like,
it's super serious. It's like the Andor of like the series is like the Andor of Star Wars animated series. Just by that, I mean like the serious tone and nature of it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's definitely much more.
Do you want to do a spoiler warning just in case for people?
No,
it was 6 days ago, and no one's watching the show.
No, wait.
I'm just saying.
Dude, I released stuff like 2 days after.
Warning,
Star Wars releases stuff 2 days after on Instagram.
There's one guy out there, okay? One guy who's like, God, I love these three. I wish they wouldn't spoil Bad Batch. That's the one thing I didn't want them to do. So now he knows.
I think the Acolyte is probably going to get a lot of views. I feel like that show is going to be very mainstream, very like very Mandalorian.
I feel like the views for that'll be on par with like something like Ahsoka, which was not good in terms of like viewership overall. I think
it'll be more.
I think the videos are going to do very
more
well.
than Ahsoka? Why?
Yeah, I think it'll be because it's mainstream. It's like Mando.
What do you mean by that?
But Ahsoka had marginally just a little less viewership than Mando season 3, which was not good. So
yeah, season 3.
I guess I don't know what you mean. Yeah,
but
what about Acolyte feels mainstream other than the fact that it's just really diverse?
Because there are no legendary characters in it. It's something completely new, so they're probably going to create it for like a new audience. Not so much like it's not like a Luke Skywalker story, which is going to have like, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I was going to say the inverse of what you're saying. Then
I would count that against it being mainstream.
Yeah, like so right now, the way I see it being advertised, right? We know it's a High Republic story. Yeah. I now see some places going with the phrase "the Phantom Menace prequel," like to try because they're trying to attach it, right? They're trying to attach it to something people know and care about.
No, I wouldn't go that.
This will actually be like a decent example of, if you just put out a trailer that has lightsabers and Force users, but like nobody that you know or recognize, how many people will want to watch that show on the first episode? Yeah, I think it's going to answer an interesting question.
It would,
unless of course they put Yoda in the trailer, which I mean, I think we all. Of course, Yoda's got to be there.
Very well might, yeah. I mean, they usually like to clickbait a lot of different characters, and like Darth Vader in Rogue One, or I was gonna say,
might need a reason for people to share it,
yeah. Yoda in the Acolyte, I could see that. I think my main concern with that show is just about Plagueis. That's all.
I hope that at the end of season 1, it's a fight between Yoda and Plagueis.
Yeah, dude.
It never ever gets mentioned again throughout any like form of anything. So that even though he's like Sith haven't been seen in millennia, blah blah blah. That's what I'm hoping for. That just gets ignored for some reason. We make the excuses the same way. It's like my powers have doubled twice since we last met. Count on Geonosis or the 50 fucking times we fought during TCW. What do you mean?
You know what I mean by more mainstream. I feel like the diehards aren't necessarily going to be super inclined to watch the show. They might, but I feel like it's going to be more so new Star Wars fans that have just come into the Disney era.
Who are they though? And how many are they?
Sequel
like
fans,
but like they didn't show up for like Ahsoka really
because Ahsoka's more prequel.
I mean, it's like a combination, right? Because Ahsoka's set well after the prequels.
I don't think they care about that. I think they care about the character.
But you're saying that they're selling it on having no character. There's no characters that are being sold this show to new fans.
That's why I think it's going to apply to a lot of people, because a lot of the hardcore guys are going to be like, okay.
Like, I don't believe people are going to be showing up for Rey and her movie if they were to make it, anywhere near. The thing about it is, right? Like, I don't know what card they can even pull anymore. They've wasted so many of them.
You just have to make a Darth Vader show. Done.
We just had Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, we did.
And how'd that go?
Terribly.
Poorly.
It was shit.
But
yeah.
You just...
But the thing is, so here's the thing.
We need proper writing.
Okay, but
yeah,
I'm not saying give me a Darth Vader show with shit writing. I'm saying give me a Darth Vader show with like someone actually competent and with a gimbal.
I don't know where that's coming from, but like that writing, I don't know where that writing is going to come from. But here's the thing: we just had the return of Hayden as Darth Vader in the Obi-Wan series.
Yeah,
which everybody very quickly pretended like they forgot about, and then pretended like his return was actually in Ahsoka a year later. And even with bringing Hayden back, like Anakin Hayden back, even doing a release in theaters for Episode 5, right? All of these things, Ahsoka didn't draw anybody from a ratings perspective.
What were the ratings? I remember. They weren't that great.
They weren't. They were slightly less than, they were slightly less than Mandalorian Season 3 ratings.
That doesn't say much. Season
It
3 was
doesn't because
ass.
season 3 was horrific in terms of ratings for them.
It was trash.
Hmm.
But not only was it bad, but also didn't get anybody watching.
No, it didn't. It was just all over the place. A bunch of bullshit.
I can't
don't know who
believe
wrote
that,
that thing.
Lizzo didn't draw in a lot of viewers just with
Yeah,
the
crazy.
gravitational pull.
Yeah, wasn't that what Jon Favreau wanted? Bring Lizzo in there for...
TikTokers. Those
Yeah,
are the fans that are going to show up for High Republic.
Yeah, those are the fans that are really going to buy a lot of Star Wars stuff.
That's what I mean, though. I don't see how Acolyte will benefit from new fans or.
I don't think they've done a very good job of assembling a powerful fan base of these new fans, right? And I'm not, before anybody gets upset in the chat, I'm not shitting on you if you like these things. But what I'm saying is when you look at, say, High Republic in terms of comic book sales and novel sales and things like that, they put a lot into the launch in terms of advertising and things like that.
Yeah.
After the first book or two, it took a shit. It fell off a cliff. There's nobody that is buying that stuff.
Mhm.
That doesn't mean that just because no one's buying High Republic and keeping up with the books and the comics, that doesn't mean that nobody watch a TV show about it. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying that it doesn't seem like there's a super big, like, active fan base for that. So they might be loud on Twitter.
Mhm.
They might get a lot of likes
Well,
because they got pronouns in their bios and flags and stuff. But in terms of actually moving the needle on something, I don't know if we've seen that from that group that you're talking about yet.
yeah, I just feel like it's a show that will... I think like Ahsoka brings in the hardcore fans, like, prequel trilogy and Clone Wars. I don't think it spoke to as many Mandalorian fans, like Weekend Warrior, Star Wars fans.
Weekend Warrior.
Yeah.
But like, what do you think?
I think shows that it's difficult because it's like you're now not really making Star Wars anymore. You're trying to make Star Wars for the masses. Right? You're trying to make Star Wars for people who don't really necessarily never liked Star Wars to begin with, but now you're trying to create something that will cater to them. Like the first 6 films, it was different back in the day, right? It was like, you kind of didn't really talk about it too much in public. You talk about it in your friends group or online or in comic book stores, but it wasn't as mainstream as Star Wars is today, which is great in the sense that everyone loves it, but in the same sense, do they love it as much as the old crew did? I don't think that level of love is as much as it was. I think it's broader. I think what happened, is literally the transition of the Republic into the Empire. So we had clones who were extremely well trained. We didn't have nearly as many of them as stormtroopers, but once the stormtroopers came in, they can't shoot for shit. They're like kind of somewhat fans. They like this and that a little bit, but there's a trillion of them.
Does that make sense though? In Star Wars, is it's like lowest success rate ever in terms of engagement?
Yeah, because
I think
people don't care as much.
So I think that when you go back and look, Star Wars, the first one was one of the first Star Wars was one of the biggest movies we've seen all time, right?
Mhm.
It was massive. It was a cultural event, a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
Go back and look at Phantom Menace, and regardless of what may have happened or the feeling that some people had about the prequels, it was all said and done. I loved them.
Yeah.
Phantom Menace, there was a lot of excitement, a lot of hype built around that. There was only $3 billion movies in the 90s. Titanic, Jurassic Park, and I think Phantom Menace. Now that may have had to do with a re-release, 3D re-release, something like that. But anyway, it's one of the only $3 billion movies we saw that was released in the 90s.
Mhm.
It was a big deal. The hype was real. So when Star Wars has been gone for, a decade and it gets bought by Disney, we get all this exciting stuff. There was a lot of people that wanted in on that hype train, especially building off. I do think I will give you like that. I do think that nerd culture in general, there was more of like a normie feel to it. People thought, oh, it's cool to be a nerd. I want to get in the MCU. I want to get into all these things. Star Wars became like that. People that wanted to get a shirt from Target or something that had this on it to be part of this club. So I think that's part of like what you saw.
Yeah.
But and then you get this $2 billion Force Awakens, mammoth. Yeah. But I think that a lot of the people that watch it, they came to be part of that cultural event and that phenomenon, to take a picture, be like, look where I was here. But they're not dedicated fans. They're going to continue to watch stuff over and over again. And now the people that did come in for that, let's face it, half of them were gone by the time Rise of Skywalker came out. That movie made half of what Force Awakens made.
Yeah.
And now I think the more shit that comes out, every time we get an Obi-Wan that drives away another half of the prequel fans that came there to watch it, every time we get stuff like this, more people just abandon ship. And it's going to take a lot for them to come back. And I don't know what that is.
No, I agree. I don't disagree at all.
Maybe Bad Batch. How do you feel about them using the phrase M count instead of just saying midichlorians? You fucking cucks.
It pisses me off because I feel like what Dave is doing, he's like, oh, people had a problem with midichlorians and the word midichlorians. Like, dude, what the fuck are you using M count for? Just say midichlorians. Like, what's the big deal? George wanted it to be midichlorians. It's not M count.
Yeah, it feels like Dave Filoni is really disrespecting George Lucas's legacy.
That was, I didn't like that. That I had a problem with. I'm like, why is he calling it M count, dude? He just like, call it midichlorians. It's literally what it is.
It's like they want to use the concept, but they don't want to say the word. It's like as if it's the word that people actually had a problem with. I never had any problem with it.
No, I thought it was cool.
Yeah, because to me, it's just a scientific way to measure this mystical effect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me.
No.
Just literally just a way to measure and explain why some people have the capacity to potentially be more powerful than others.
Yeah.
But
power level.
Yeah. But the fact that they're just using the word M count now is just so stupid.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I like midichlorian. It's like we haven't heard midichlorian since Revenge of the Sith. No, since Phantom Menace. Yeah, because Palpatine didn't say we manipulate midichlorians. He said life.
Mauler, what do you think about what's your first impression of the Bad Batch crew? So Wrecker, Hunter, Omega, and Crosshair.
I thought Crosshair was pretty edgy, and I thought it was really funny that he had a crosshair on his face. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with that, but then he's probably my favorite by the time I hit the end of the 3 episodes. Hunter's just generic, Wrecker's retarded, and Omega's annoying. That's my
all it took was 3 episodes of the 3rd season, and he already got all the characters nailed. If Tech was still alive, you'd just say that Tech is autistic, and you'd be like completely right, and he's awesome. But
he's he's a genius.
Crosshair is my favorite because he's just ready to die, basically.
Yeah.
He's just like, I do like, he is my favorite of the group because he's just so cranky and hates everything and just wants to be left alone to die. And I sympathize with that.
Fuck, dude. That's fucking depressing. Jesus.
It's just, literally me. That's how you feel about good old Crosshair.
I feel like I'm kind of like Wrecker and Crosshair put together.
You think you are?
I think so.
So you're retarded and you want to die?
He's not retarded. He's just happy.
What?
He's just happy, dude.
Oh, so you're a mix between you're happy and you want to die?
No, I'm a mix between I'm happy if I'm left alone.
All right.
I feel
beautiful. I thought some of the dialogue was really funny.
You and Denis Villeneuve.
Who's it? Is it written by Dave or is it just sort of Dave adjacent?
I don't think Dave writes any of these. He's the producer. He created the whole thing, and I don't. He's not even like the supervising director. I think it's Brad Rao, but obviously Dave works close with this story. But he's not a writer of any of these.
There's so many lines that I feel like the person who wrote it was like, yeah, think about that. When it's like, holy shit, that's some of the most generic shit I've ever heard. Like, you trust too easily, and the response is, maybe you don't trust enough. Like, okay,
but it's a child.
Yeah.
What's her line supposed to be? Like something.
So storytelling, right? When you want to get ideas across, there are loads of really subtle ways you can do it, or inflections, or different actions characters can take that imply positions they hold.
Yeah,
you don't have to. You could even have it just look down and look back up and be like, "I'm not going to give up on you." Someone. You could have child dialogue that doesn't just reflect like a I got it. You're both opposites of a coin almost, and together you're gonna be able to do it. Like actions always have consequences, sometimes not in the way that we will imagine. That's just amusing to me. Like, yeah, you got it. That's very true. That's like an episode stinger line. Like a oof, yeah. Think about that. This like I said, there's some stuff I like in you, but a lot of it I'm just like.
I mean, look, it's the Bad Batch. It's not the original trilogy, right? So it's not. It's a fucking child.
What I was hoping,
She's annoying as hell, but it's a child at the end of the day. And I think it's supposed to really portray the fact that she's like unbelievably optimistic and sees the good in everyone, kind of like Ahsoka did, and that's just kind of annoying. But that's her thing. She's like pure.
She's like you at the start of every one of these seasons.
Well, wait. I don't agree with any of this. Like, why does a character have to be annoying just because they're positive and believes in people? We just had
I love that's so funny because the Ahsoka description is funny because she was described as annoying as fuck too when she first came out.
Yeah, she was. Yeah,
it's funny that
well, because that's just the character they wanted. They wanted a character who's extremely optimistic and sees the good in everybody. Even
either of you see the One Piece adaptation on Netflix?
I didn't. No.
Like the main character in that, Luffy, is like hyper positive, and his whole thing is he wants to get everybody he meets to achieve their dreams. He's like one of the best characters in the show, and he's like a kid. I don't understand why they have to be annoying because they're a kid.
No, not at all. But she's just still pure. She hasn't been tainted by or jaded by the world.
Sure.
I think that's nice.
Yeah, that's great. I'm saying like we could do it better is what I would hope for.
He's saying you can have a nice like pure character, but some of the like literally like basic level writing, like, well, sometimes you shouldn't do those things, and so it says, well, you know what, sometimes you should. Like, yeah, that type of level of writing is like all over Clone Wars period, but also like the show. So I mean, it is very simplistic, rudimentary storytelling very often.
Yeah, and I don't feel like the need to make excuses, and it doesn't ruin it entirely or anything. I just want to make sure it's recognized that that's the kind of stuff we deal with, and there's no reason it can't be better than that. I don't know why it is.
Oh, of course it could be. Absolutely.
I was shocked. I thought for sure at some point that there was going to be like a definitive moment where Crosshair, like they showed him having the moment where he could have escaped and just left Omega and didn't. Now, obviously, like he did do that. He came and helped her and stuff. But I was thinking that they were going to make it an actual like moment call back to when he was like, if I get an opportunity, I'll leave you right here. I don't care about you. Yeah. But they didn't do that. Maybe they still will. What's
the hand thing? Because they were making references to that. Is that like, is he degrading over time or something?
Yeah. So he was frozen. Basically, he was like in the very cold in season 2, and I personally think it's more interesting if they're doing experiments on him because he is one of the Clone 99s, so he is like special in a sense. So I feel like they're doing more testing on him and Tech and Omega, and I would love it if they were like injecting him with Palpatine's blood or something, kind of like they did with Grievous and Sifo Dyas, to see if he responds to it, and it's like actually fucking him up.
Have you noticed that Hemlock often grabs his hand?
Nope.
Like,
I've noticed.
For this one and the last couple episodes of season 2, Hemlock, because I think he wears a glove on one hand. He's like, he's grabbing it, like he's like grabbing it very often. And I think it would be interesting if that's some side effect, like that shaking is some side effect from that gas. Remember the gas that they used on Crosshair that Hemlock has like got immunity to, that he built up a tolerance to? I wonder if that side effect, it might be some side effect from that gas, and that Hemlock actually has that as well. And that's why he grabs his hand. I don't know. That's just like it's a Star Wars theory I have.
It's a Ryan theory. It's an RK Outpost theory.
Yeah. But that would actually like connect some dots and shit, so it's probably not that.
So Omega's blood has the key to making Palpatine clones, huh?
Yeah, it So what I understood from that was that it's not that it's force sensitive, but that it can bind to his midi-chlorians in his blood. So that
I
means
mean,
if they clone her, then they could use her blood or her DNA to make Palpatine clones, perhaps, because it would bind to it.
So cloning people who are force sensitive or cloning people who can use the force is something that's like very difficult to do. And obviously it is, because that would kind of be like a big cheat code. You could just like go to Camino and clone 100,000 Jedi or something and like have your Jedi army. Now, of course, using the Dave Filoni theory of everyone can use the force, just like George Lucas said in one interview in 1980, you could just do that with all the clones, period. So you wouldn't need a Jedi army. But ignoring that, so really what this kind of stems from in my mind, the way that like going with this is they're taking this old idea from the expanded universe, which a lot of is ripped off in Bad Batch, including Mount Tantus, including Wayland, including the idea that there's a secret cloning facility there, all these things. And what they had to do, one of the things that Thrawn found out was that he could use extremely accelerated cloning techniques and grow people in like a matter of weeks if you kept them outside of the force effectively. And they had a bunch of Yelsameri, which create these little force bubbles, things like that. So I think they're kind of like using that idea of the force being inherently tied into cloning and things like that to talk about how difficult it is to clone force sensitives. And that's what Project Necromancer, and that's really what, all the way to like getting Baby Yoda, like it's all about getting that blood for this cloning procedure so that they can clone force sensitives and force sensitive bodies.
Right.
That's what it feels like to me.
That's what it feels like to me too.
I find all this incredibly uninteresting. Like that they would be pursuing so hard this fucking plot line. The 3 episodes big revelation is that Omega's going to have blood that's super important to the cloning process to make force sensitive clones that may lead into the replication of Palpatine or the creation of Snoke things. I feel like that's a complete misunderstanding of what the strengths of Star Wars is. And it's almost a waste of time, because if all of this leads to a story that we don't care about, then it was all a fucking waste.
You see, I care about Palpatine cloning himself, because that's something that he would have done. The dude loves himself. He definitely would have cloned himself. I could see him going from Revenge of the Sith into wanting to clone himself. And I want to see how this actually fails from now until the original trilogy. So this has to be like come close to something or whatever, and then it fails completely. Maybe all the plans are destroyed, and Palpatine's left with kind of picking up the pieces and fragments and shards of whatever is left. And in turn, he creates shithead Snoke. That, fine. Okay, because you're keeping the sequel trilogy at bay. You're keeping it way over there. But to say that, oh, he's been trying to create Snoke this entire time, I think that's... no.
But like, what does that do for you, though, if that's the story? What does that mean for any of us, that's the story? It's just like, okay.
I don't think
we have nowhere else to go.
So just my opinion is that this is not about him creating Snoke. This is about him creating like clones for himself. Mm-hmm. That's what I think Project Necromancer is. The reason being like, right, because the idea of necromancy, the act of, using some sort of magical force to bring someone back from the dead.
Yep.
That really wouldn't make sense as a code word if it was just creating another being that is Snoke. But the name itself inherently implies that he's talking about bringing himself back from the dead.
Yep.
So I don't think...
But
yeah,
the way he would do that, there's a possibility that he would just use essence transfer and just put his whatever into another body. It doesn't necessarily have to be him. So that's just what I'm kind of concerned about. It's like, okay, are they going to create fucking Joe Blow and then he's going to be like, all right, me. Kind of like what he did in Dark Empire, where he's going to go into Leia and Han's kid.
He's going to go into Anakin, baby Anakin. Baby. Yeah. He's going to go into baby Anakin.
Like, how would that work? Like,
he would go into baby Anakin and then crawl his way out of Leia and rule the galaxy.
I guess.
Okay, so here's another monkey wrench then that I'll throw in. If it did lead to Snoke, as far as I'm concerned, that doesn't actually lock you off from interesting stories, but that they're not capable of telling them. If Snoke were created in some test tube, had sentience, was not controlled per se, but gradually is characterized, trained, and understands his place, being that he's going to rule while Palpatine recovers if anything should go wrong or something. There's a whole story we could build up there that would be super interesting, and it could actually help the sequels in theory, though I don't believe that they would ever be able to pull that off.
So what I think, Rise of Skywalker made Rey's dad a basically castrated from the Force clone of Palpatine. All right, so what if there were some versions of Palpatine that were actually Force sensitive during this time? I don't know, maybe from the Force Unleashed to when they cloned Galen Merrick, he went there were like a million versions of him where he was like defective. He went crazy, he was nuts, he was psychopathic. Maybe this one he actually ends up like that and he fucking turns on the Emperor. Could you imagine like a realm where there's a good Palpatine, basically Starkiller? What if, I mean, fuck, I don't think they would do something that cool, but I wish.
Maybe that's Rey. Rey's the good Palpatine. She is the Omega of Palpatine. She actually is not like a child. She's also a clone. But I don't like that entire thing because obviously Ian McDermott even told us like Palpatine fucks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
okay, but that's just Ian McDermott saying funny stuff.
Oh, listen, that is the source right there.
Yeah,
him and George talked in detail. They had a 6-hour meeting about the ways that Palpatine fucks, the positions he prefers, how long he lasts, if he used the Force to control his blood flow.
He would have read the Karma Sithra.
if he likes to be if he likes to be Force choked in bed.
The Karma Sithra. All right, let's not get weird here.
Too late for that.
Yeah.
I literally have a Dune popcorn bucket.
Yeah, literally, like we enter the stream, is like fisting the Dune popcorn
bucket. Now I just want a bunch of clips of like Palpatine saying sexual things.
Listen, you just need his regular quotes. It's a pathway to many abilities some consider unnatural.
They're just like, oh, I'm afraid I don't use protection. Like shit like that. Like, come on.
Execute Order 69.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh God. Could keep going on this. I'm afraid the Cialis will be fully operational when you arrive.
That's what I mean. The Force is strong with you. I always thought he sounded like a horn dog on that one.
Oh no! Oh no! Yeah, that was. And then he was like, ugh.
Yeah, the noises he's making when he first becomes all Sithy.
Becomes all Sithy.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was funny as well. Even as a kid, I was like, all right, what's he doing? He's like.
It's almost like the dark side is like just creeping out of him. Or something.
It's been like hiding in there for 50 years, and it's now just spewing out.
That's what I'm saying. Like you could there's a lot of stories about like Palpatine fucking that I think would be more entertaining than the Bad Batch. Probably not for children.
Jesus.
But I think you know what I think the Bad Batch should have been about. Instead of bringing in the Palpatine, the cloning shit, like the stuff for Palpatine to clone himself, Project Necromancer, tying it into the Force, all this shit, it really should have just been about the clones and how they were treated, how they were ousted. And you get a lot of that in Bad Batch anyway, about like how the feeling is now that they're bringing in normal stormtroopers and the clones are getting phased out. Yeah. And like, I think there's a lot of good shit you can have in there. Yeah. Without it having to be tied to everything else like this. Like, come on.
Let's see a good vision of this. I can't hold it any longer. I'm too weak.
Oh, God. Oh no, it's begun.
Uh-oh.
It's begun. Shit.
So.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. Well, I guess we'll get the super chat.
Oh, we got plenty to talk about. You guys
Yeah.
already done with episodes 1, 2, and 3.
You know what I thought was like such a big waste of fucking time in 2 was that they find these other 3 clones, the cadets, and I don't think there that those need to be 2 separate episodes. I think you could have told the story you needed to tell if you combined 1 and 2. I don't think they needed to be separate.
A-plot, B-plot.
But I think that when I look at the second episode, if they were going to like take those cadets with them and they were going to be like part of their crew or something and they were going to help, then I could see you doing that episode, and maybe they will down the line, so you can put like a pin in that. But for them to just bring them on board and then take them back to the planet just so they can go back and like look for Omega again, I think it's a massive waste of time.
Well, it was dumb as fuck as well, because the 3 kids are like, you need to go all the way to here to get the information to take it to the next place. It's very video gamey. It's like, okay. By the end of it, they arrive to essentially save them in the ship from that area. And it's like, so if all of you just gotten in the ship to begin with and gone there, that would have been way faster and way more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And they would have been able to potentially steal the ship like they wanted to anyway, clearly. It's funny because somebody that was watching it also told me it felt video gamey to them. So it's funny you mentioned
like
that, but it's
filler
true,
episode.
Yeah.
The fact that everything is self-contained, right? It's like we need to go to let's just say C, and it's like, well, we have to go to A first to get the information. Which, by the way, has that woman been introduced before? The leaders of whatever faction that is, she was fucking stupid as hell. They have a bounty out for this person. They provide the bounty, and then she's like, "Wow, pretty bold to want to speak to me." It's like, we have what you want. And you owe us.
Oh
like,
yeah, in the
bounties
beginning
work. Yeah,
yeah.
What?
Do you have any idea who that? Well, I didn't recognize that person. Theory, did you?
No, I didn't recognize her, but she's part of a clan, a syndicate.
Like the syndicate or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, the dude was in the other Bad Batch episode. He's a Davaronian.
The guy with the freaking chopped off thing,
the fucked up horn. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, because
he's a new.
I love me a ruthless leader. But she was like retarded. She said, you have a lot of courage to demand an audience. Like, they have her bounty.
That's the type of strong women you can expect in all Dave Filoni's projects, Mahler, just so you know.
Well, the way I took that was that, like, sorry, go ahead. I interrupted.
I was just going to say the female Davaronians didn't always have horns like that. So I don't know if that's the first one we've seen. That's a change from what they used to look like. But changes happen.
What was funny is
they used to look like the women. I can't remember.
They used to have like either really small ones, but kind of like normal people, but just like pale skin.
Right. We saw one in the cantina, I think, in A New Hope, right?
Let me look.
Davaronian female. I believe we did. Remember I remember there was a in the cantina.
Yeah, they didn't look like male Davaronians with those fucking horns. So that is a massive lore mistake. Which is
very massive, different. Catastrophic.
Again, like the normal person watching that probably doesn't care, but it's just like one thing that's like, God, how fucking simple is that? I don't know if they wanted to make her look like she had horns or like
maybe she's horns, the queen. Whatever. Yeah, the way I took that was like, oh, how dare you? Like, because they're probably supposed to tell the representative or whatever, or her like.
They did though. That was what we were told. So they told the guy, and then the guy told her, and then she agreed. That's what we were told happened. She said they asked for an audience with her to provide the bounty, and then she said that was bold of you, but had accepted. And then, as per the bounty, they're supposed to receive something. In this case, information. Well, when the guy walks up to them to tell them, he's like, "Here are the coordinates," and the guy's just verified. And then she says, "Take it before my generosity runs out." It's like, it's not generosity, bitch. This is a bounty.
It's a fucking bounty. Yeah, that's this transaction.
You know what's funny though is I was like, wait, that first guy in the scene who got killed, who apparently was traitor, like he was running like a coup or something, and possibly because she's a weak leader. I was like, oh, is that how she's a weak leader? She's like an idiot. I was like, is that supporting that? Maybe I don't know.
I don't know. So in the chat, who said Ryan bitching about nothing again? just because like you're too ignorant to know that, like doesn't mean that like
Yeah,
it's
I'm
not
memeing
something
around.
that other people
I
actually care
just
about.
ignore those. I saw a few of those. Be like, what has
Yeah.
this channel become? It's like 3 Star Wars nerds and people of
I was gonna say, we're
reasonable
talking about
intellect talking about
the
Star Wars.
episodes.
Like
Talking
yeah,
about-
what the like? Well, what do you want? We're 3 bros just talking about. We're nerding out. Like we're looking up fucking Davronian females versus males. Like we. You know, I think it's a great show. So, hey, a lot of people love it. There's more views on this show than there was ever on any other of my podcasts here. So, and Star Wars is pretty dead right now. So, I mean,
What do you mean, Bad Batch season 3, bros? Let's go.
Yes, I can't wait for the release of episode 4.
hey, I'm excited. I like it.
That's
The
great.
horniness of Palpatine. It's gonna be the
Let's
episode
do
4.
5 things Mahler loved about the Bad Batch.
Okay. I think I liked Crosshair. We've already gone over it, but it counts. Crosshair's disdain for life.
Yes.
That's a big old fun one. What else? Just sifting through all my complaints. There's got to be something in here.
Did you like how the water faucet dripped?
I mean, they kept using that as like a passage of time or like a starting shot, right? 'Cause
in her thing.
yeah.
Basically, like that to me is just like same shit, different day. Like the loneliness.
So
like, kind of.
I appreciate the
aspect
effort with the
of it.
animation. You know,
If
I
you-
like the cinematography and bits pieces of it. That's 3 things. Isn't that close to 5? It's like the same.
yeah, you're good. So if you notice when she starts writing on the wall with the tallying up the days, I think we start at around day 25. So this is a 25-day gap between season 2 and 3.
Fair
I think.
enough.
Is that it? That's
I think so.
man, her hair. I felt like her hair got longer.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, so that's where we start. Then we do a time skip. That's
Okay. All right.
we go from. I think we go from something like 2 weeks to or 3 weeks to. I remember looking at
like
the
a couple
tally.
months or something. but I don't
23
know.
weeks is what I had noted. Is where we end up.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it is a long time then.
Which there you go. That's another thing I like. I like that they tell us that, which is to justify her relationship with the dog thing developing. Though the only reason that
I had to heal Batcha so he could help me later. Come on, Batcha.
well, I was going to say, from a writing perspective, like I appreciate that they say it takes a long time to bind a human and an animal, at least somewhat significantly, when it's a fucking feral dog that's designed to kill things. But the reason that we even get that opportunity is because apparently it rejected the normal food, so she had to find a way to feed it other food. And I was like, that happening means that they're allowed to do a shit ton more. You know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
but in the first season, there was something where like her and Hunter got lost on some planet. Do you remember, Ryan? Do you remember this?
Hunter. Yeah.
And then she like did the same sort of thing with an animal there. So it's like she almost has beast control, which like
Yeah, it's because she's
everyone
force
does.
sensitive because she's a special clone.
Do you think she's force sensitive?
I don't know. Like I feel like that I felt like from the beginning, like from season 1, that was like kind of the implication.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like
She
we're gonna
might be,
find out very soon based on her M count.
she might be a
Whatever.
Mandalorian Jedi. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, I've never seen any of those before, especially female Mandalorian Jedis.
So the plot that runs through the 3 episodes, I think, is fundamentally broken, and let me explain why. We open with the idea that we're getting blood samples taken from all kinds of clones to just keep testing in different ways to figure out how we're going to benefit this project that they're working on, and that the key is actually in her blood, which Nala say, that's the name of the. She knows that Omega's blood is going to be the key to it, so she's deliberately sabotaging any attempts to get her blood in there. I thought that was a really I'd seen the 3 episodes and I had to go back and check. So I was like, how did this even happen? Like, how did it get to a point where that they hadn't tested her blood? And it's really odd because the blood gets taken by the other female clone girl,
Emery,
and then carried into the other room where Nala Say does the actual like putting it into the machine. So I was already like, wow, that's incredibly lucky, right? Like if anyone else ever did it at any point, then it would be over for Omega. But okay, we'll buy that. The thought I had in my head was like, I have to go check. How did she know which blood sample was even Omega's? And it's weird because she puts them on like a table and they scan it, and then the computer says like, this is Omega's blood sample. I was like, how would it know which one's Omega's blood sample if the blood sample's never been put into the computer for testing anyway?
Oh, they've tested all the clones.
So they know.
They know the DNA of every single clone.
But they've not been able to test them against whatever this new project is.
No, because they're injecting what I think is Palpatine's blood.
And seeing if it like doesn't,
if it binds or if it rejects it, or
yeah. So,
but I don't think we've ever seen that happen to Omega, though.
What do you mean?
Have we ever seen like what has she gotten injected with? She's only had samples taken, yeah.
She had her blood sample taken, and then Palpatine's blood was being injected into every vial.
Yeah, but like Nala says, sabotaging it so that her sample never gets into the machine.
Yeah, like what I'm saying is like, I don't really understand why they're testing the same people like every single. I guess unless they are doing changes to whatever blood.
I assume they're
like,
remixing and using.
I assume it's because clones mutate.
I think there's a lot of answers you could have to that question. I was more confused because I was like, okay, so if she's on record, then surely they have records of which samples are actually getting the completed tests. They should have like a exfil or well, I'm not sure what the word would be, but just like a report of like, so that sample blah, 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 fail, sample blah, 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 fail. And Omegas would never turn up in those because they're all removed beforehand.
Yeah.
And I was just like, how did she get away with this for half a year? Like that they never had a test come through for Omega's blood. It's the only one that gets entered but doesn't exit.
I think that Nalase probably like the reason she was the one doing the blood. This is my like good faith, like trying to explain away, is like she wanted complete control of the project. She was already obviously, so you didn't see this, Mahler, but in season 2, Nalase basically refuses to work for what's his name? Fucking bad guy.
Yeah. I got that from these because they said that the only reason they get Nalase to work is by having Omega in the station.
So my assumption is, all right, she's like, hey, I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna fucking run this entire thing, blah blah blah. And so she probably just controls everything. I think the first time anyone had not done it was when Emery did it for her and saw what happened. But
that's
just me like making up stuff for them, you know.
Considering Nala, this actually comes up later as well. A surprising amount of control and power for Nala, considering how she's not trusted at all. Like her data pad can have control over the whole station, seemingly.
That is a retarded thing. Like the fact that those data pads can be taken from one area and it works anywhere. It doesn't like, it's wild to me that it doesn't matter. Like, well, or that either that or she has like complete control and access of every single station, like you said.
It was weird that Omega was told, like, pick up Nalase's pad from the room, and then that'll give you access to all kinds of things, including prison cells for some reason. But the thing is, when she runs into the room, it doesn't look like she gets Nala's pad specifically. I think she does, but it doesn't feel that way. It just feels like it's a pad off the wall. You know what I mean? You could just grab it, and now you have a key to basically the entire base.
Maybe
that feels strange.
Wait, was it Emery's, actually?
I can't remember. Well, so I was gonna say I've got notes about this. It's like either it's a random one, which is still bad, or it's Nala's one, which doesn't make sense, or it's Emery's one.
I think it's the female clones one because she would have walked in there, done the stuff, and start working on it. And I do even think when she came down and they escaped, she was like, I think she explained it away like she grabbed maybe she said I grabbed a pad. I don't remember though.
Yeah, because I could have sworn Nala said like get it from her quarters or whatever, or like her room. I don't know, but I still thought it was fucking wild how much power you get from those tablets when they don't have like a sign in or anything. You just grab it.
Yeah,
kind of makes everything work out, which you know.
Yeah, I said that during the episode. I'm like, this is like stupid that this pad works literally everywhere for everything.
It's weird how much Star Wars has like given up on trying to create reasonable ways of getting into or out of bases in all of its like newer stories across the board, essentially, because you know it's a staple of Star Wars. I think breaking into and out of evil bases, you gotta love it. It pops up all over the place. But you remember Kenobi? It was like, oof, they ain't trying, not like they used to.
Yeah, like who would like? Of course, that's how they should have got out. They should have walked out the front door with a big jacket and just
yeah. Crosshair could have wore a big jacket and she could be hiding under it. It'd be great.
Exactly.
Good reference too. People would be like, oh.
People like, I remember that from Kenobi.
Remember. Nostalgia, bro.
Do you think we're ever gonna see Reva again?
Oh, fucking hell.
Only she reminds me of Kenobi season 2.
Remember that thing? I think it was the last Star Grift episode. I was talking about the lady from the MCU who's got more power now than anyone else. Like she's like
Yeah, you were
Reva, where
telling me this.
I don't know if the creators create these characters, and I don't know if we'll ever see them again. I don't know if it's like a wild fucking idiotic decision, and then no writers pick them up. Right? Future writers who come in on projects and just be like, I don't fucking care about that. I'm gonna make my own guy.
Yeah, they probably just dropped them in there to be used.
Yeah.
Potentially.
It's a kid's cartoon, not going to be as nuanced as a 007 movie. Can we stop, please, with the kids' movies of shit? Stop.
I feel like Bad Batch could absolutely be as nuanced as a Roger Moore 007 movie.
Yeah, what the fuck?
You know,
we went over this last week.
It's like, come on, man. Who's that sheriff that shows up everywhere? That's you know what I'm talking about in the Roger Moore movies?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't even want to do it. I was gonna say something super racist.
I can't remember.
Man.
I can't remember.
That one where they're like at China or whatever, and he's like vacationing in China. He just says something super fucking racist. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
No.
God, I gotta find that clip.
I guess that would be right up your alley, right?
Mahler, you know who that sheriff is, right?
Oh, dude, like remembering names and stuff. I know what you're talking about, but like I can't remember who.
I was trying to look up 007 sheriff, and I looked up Mahler sheriff. I don't think that's gonna work.
It's your brain for you.
James Sheriff Pepper. That's his name. Let's see if I can find.
Oh, that was another funny line. Do not question my loyalty to science, Doctor. That sounded like that would be a 007 villain line, even though it's from Nala. I think not a bad guy. Which I imagine would be even funnier if I knew the history of like how much she's not cooperated previously, right? Because she's trying to convince him that she's into the project, even though she won't work on the project if not for using Omega as like a leverage. I'm going off what's said in the episodes, by the way. I don't know if you guys have more information on that.
Hold on. I'm looking up Sheriff Pepper. Sorry.
Someone said the man in the golden gun.
Yes, it was a man in the golden gun.
Yeah, we got 3,400 people here. Let's get over 1,000 likes. That'd be much appreciated. Ryan, can you start telling people to hit like? I feel like you have a much more angry way of doing it.
Hit like. Well, I'm cross. I don't care if you hit like. I'd rather die. This is the guy I was talking about right here.
Oh, what's the matter, JW, huh? You just cry that in my bayou, boy!
What the hell?
Yeah, this guy, he pops up in like every place that Roger Moore's James Bond ends up in for some reason. But I don't want to play the whole thing because obviously copyright, but it just fucking reminded me of that. He's just saying like very offensive shit to all the Thailand people the entire time.
Oh my God.
So, it was the 70s.
Do any of you guys have trouble with the part where like the robot is like the dog's gonna die because it's too domesticated? Stupid fuck, you made it friendly. And then I was first of all just thinking to myself like, man, she's lucky that dog wasn't killed while she was just out, you know. And that was that. But also that she stops that all that happening by pulling the tablet away from the security droid, like.
No, with the freaking vice grip, like
yeah, they like wrestle over it. I was like, "That's a droid, man! Like that's a buff
machine,
droid." Yeah,
fucking Terminator. Like what the hell? Give me it! Oh no, she has taken the pad.
Like, kill her.
Well, he was gonna stun her, right? I thought that was still pretty like, oh, okay, cool.
Well, look, at the end of the day, we kind of have to give it some grace and realize this is basically a kids show.
Yeah. We can still get this done.
It's like that's why I'm like, okay,
the droid, right? With intelligence, she wouldn't use her physical prowess as a little girl to defeat the droid.
If this was the Kenobi show or some shit like that, I'd be like, no tolerance for this bullshit at all. But it's a kids show, so I'm just like watching. I'm like, all right, yeah, it's believable.
I talked about that a little last time. I think that was last week where I said I think that sometimes in animation we judge a little bit differently or are willing to like look over certain things. However, at the end of the day, these episodes matter just as much to the world of Star Wars and the story of Star Wars and the lore building and continuity. They have just as much value as every live action show. So I
agree with that.
I think that they still need to be looked at and evaluated.
Like,
you know, in certain ways.
It can be a kids show while also just moving a couple of things around to make this make a little bit more sense. Like her knowing that happens, she can then sabotage systems ahead of time. Maybe, you know, like the thing that's gonna erase or destroy this creature, she can empty the kennel first or something, move it out, or have something in there that gets destroyed that the robot thinks is like, oh, complete good, and then moves the friendly one into a new cage and just be like, oh yeah, new whatever the fuck they're called, and just something clever. Instead of I pulled it off you, then press the buttons fast enough so that the block falls on him, but that he's just like, security, stop it.
I also think that this show specifically is I don't know how much it's made for kids versus how much it's made for adults that watch Clone Wars.
I think it's both. I think more so for. I think this one's more so for kids, probably.
It seems it seems like they want people to take it more seriously than that.
This one does, yeah, for sure. But I think it's still in the world of animation, which is like, you know, you have stupid stuff happening, like Omega taking the data pad from a droid. That like unrealistic because it's a cartoon, so they can get away with stuff. But then again, they did stupid ass shit in Kenobi with like the slapping, or like the chasing of the 9-year-old, and they couldn't catch her. And like,
well, and for reference, there are people who say like, why do you nitpick this, that, and the other when even George has said the kids are supposed to be the ones like the main target for OT or whatever. Space wizards, bro. You know, like stop taking it so seriously. When as far as I'm concerned, like all the best kids content in the world does keep things in line with like what it establishes itself. So people have been sharing it recently about Incredibles, but do you remember the scene where they basically Helen explains to her kids that they could be killed and they need to take this seriously?
Yeah,
it's like that is for kids. Kids are watching that movie, but it's like very serious and it makes the stakes work a bit better as well.
I think a lot of like huge major franchises, even if the target demographic is children, the ones that really become massive are the ones that are appealable to everyone because of the storytelling. Something like Harry Potter, right? Obviously, the target age group for that is people that are aging kind of like with the books, like so many of us did, is we were kind of reading them growing up.
right.
But the reason that it became so massive is because parents were reading it too. And everyone like consistently has like gotten so into that world. So despite it, the target age range being a certain thing, the story was good. The characters were great. The world building was so unique that people felt so invested across all ages that they loved that thing.
It's like it's, you know, for the people who watch the Clone Wars and then now their kids as well.
Yeah, I would be interested to see like how many kids are watching Bad Batch right now.
Probably a lot.
I imagine the vast majority of the kids watching it are kids who have been shown it by their parents who are interested in Star Wars to begin with.
Most
They're
likely.
like, yeah, watch this. I can watch it with you. This is vaguely Star Wars-ish.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Nala says to Omega, if your sample gets submitted, you're going to be in incredible danger? And she looks at her and says, is that why you've been destroying them? And I thought it was so funny because I feel like Nala would have been like, yes, retard. That's what I just said.
Except she would have said it like this. Yes, you little retard. We don't have much time, Omega.
With every second.
Bro, yeah, exactly. Like I get that's kind of the cadence that we've come to expect from Kaminoans, like from what we've seen. However, in a situation where like literally you don't have any fucking time and you have to get all the information to her right now, you're like, man, you can't speed up the way you speak. Holy shit.
You know, do you remember the kennel or like whatever it was, the system to keep the dogs in place? There's like 15 ray shields all in a row that all activate the wrong way around. I was like, if they're running out, then you gotta activate them in the reverse order, you fool.
It is very convenient that it's like instead of just let's just shut the one at the end.
Just one ray shield. Why the fuck are there like 20? Like, what's the point of that? Like, and what you're going to say to me is,
I don't remember this.
It's when they're running out of the little doggo shelter.
They're using
thing.
Batcha's little escape route.
Oh, but it looks cooler that way.
I was just about to say that's what you'll say.
Like, that. Right. Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah. Well,
the idea of what kind of system is that? Like,
oh, yeah. Just like
stop
hilarious. It at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like just.
Well, I thought they were trying to evoke like.
And just they all come down, or just you need one to come down.
I thought they were trying to evoke like Phantom Menace or some shit. It's like loads of red shield doors that are coming down.
Well,
I actually thought that would have been unique. This could have actually been something fucking interesting with this episode. What if, after all this fucking shit, they do that and Omega gets stopped by the fucking ray shield and Crosshair is out there?
Yeah.
And Crosshair gets left with the decision, okay, do I fucking wing it, try to find a way to save Omega? Or do I do what I told you I was thinking of in the first episode? Say, go fuck yourself, every man for himself.
See, that'd be cool. But
Yes.
if he actually goes and leaves, but then is like trying to come back and save her, that'd be dope.
Yeah, he does the
you.
thing of like, you're on your own, and then he comes in the nick of time later because he was never going to leave it really.
Yeah, see,
that would be good
cool.
stuff.
That would have been
Yes.
really cool. I like that. Yeah.
But
Oh
But
well.
at least they I also like it was interesting to me that the times that we saw like people getting stunned versus people getting shot. And I actually laughed when it was I laughed when Omega like stunned the pilot and he just like slumps over. I'm like, okay, well that guy's stunned now. And then fucking Crosshair just fucking hurls him out.
Yeah.
He falls like 100 feet clearly to his death. I thought that was so fucking funny. But also the whole like Emery scene, it's like, Crosshair, what are you doing? Just fucking stun her. Like,
Yeah.
I get we want this little monologue from Emery. Fuck off. Just
That was there being like they I think they figured when they were making that the audience is invested in whether or not Emery's going to choose to go with them or not. And I think this is part of the slight nuance that I think was in the writing is that we're not. I think she chose a middle ground. She could have done more to sabotage them, but she decided not to. That seems to be what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So in the second season, I feel like you're supposed to feel like she does feel slightly conflicted and she kind of wants to help Crosshair, but at the same time, she does seem loyal to what she's being told to
Yeah,
do.
she seems like she's been beaten down completely by the system. A
Mm.
bit too afraid to get out of there.
But you know, at some point, she's going to have a girl boss moment and break free of the conditioning.
I thought it would have been kind of neat if he had stunned her and then just carried her off with them. Or, I'm not sure that you need to build like a better reason for it, but just to have a character who didn't actually want to be with them. But like simultaneously that they wanted to save. I don't know. You'd have to rewrite a lot to get her in that position. But I don't know. I like a character who's terrified by the Empire and the control that system has to the point where they would never do anything against them. That seems a little bit different and stuff. Reminds me of some other IPs that cover it. But something else at the end of episode 3 Nia, where she escapes Omega, and then what's his name, Hemlock, is like, all right, fucking kill him, release the doggos and stuff. I was like, whoa. When I was watching, I was like, you don't want to kill him. You need Omega because you need Nala. If you kill Omega, then you don't have the leverage on her. And that's like highlighted. And he's like, yeah, well, they fucking escaped. I was like, what? Like, that's not. I don't even understand. Like, you want to? And then he's like, now launch the recovery team. And I was like, just launch the recovery. You don't. Even, why are you launching the killer dogs and the recovery team? I don't understand.
They're not very smart.
And then, of course, by the end of the episode, she's like, she's the one we need. He's like, oh, call him off. And I was like, why was there no way of downing that ship? It happened in Ahsoka. It drives me nuts. You know, the ship going from, the planet to orbit, that would take fucking ages. And it's a transport ship and it's being chased by 6 ships shooting at it.
Yeah.
No way in hell it makes it. Hera did the same thing in Ahsoka and it drove me nuts as well. It's like, Hera should be dead.
Kind of annoyed me. Yeah. Yes.
I could have used less of Hera talking and more shots of her ass, to be honest.
You got plenty. You just
did get a lot. I was surprised. I don't change my statement at all, though.
You know what? I support it.
I understand why Kanan. I understand why Kanan was breaking his Jedi oaths. All right.
Why do you need to describe to me the
Ryan,
plot?
please describe to me the plot of Jedi Prince books. The Jedi Prince books are kind of fucking crazy. They got published in the early 90s. They were, I think, meant for like a younger audience. And there is somebody who's like the self-proclaimed son of Palpatine who wants to take over. And he's going to do this by getting his, I think the first one is the glove of Darth Vader, or the fist of Darth Vader. He's trying to get like Vader's glove. And with it, he tricks people into thinking that he can produce Force lightning. And then there's another guy who is the illegitimate son of Palpatine and is like trying to challenge him. It's been a long fucking time since I read any of those books, but they are legitimately fucking wild. So they came out in like, again, early 90s, like 92 or something like that. I couldn't describe the plot of all those books though, other than it takes place kind of in the immediate aftermath of Return of the Jedi, when a lot of the Empire is kind of like scrambling around and there's different factions that are being created and shit. People are like in panic mode. People trying to gather power for themselves.
All right.
Oh, why do you say that? Love to know what you think.
5280 drone.
Emery more like marry me. Lore breaking potential of Acolyte is ridiculous.
Yes.
Oh yeah, with Plagueis. Yes.
Well, that's the thing, right? That's what Disney are doing, is looking for more places they haven't broken yet. Like, hey,
Well, yeah, I mean, they're like,
real
look,
far back.
the prequels and the originals. What can we do? We can go in the middle of them, and we can go before and after.
Yep.
Given how little Dave has cared about contradictions with other stories when making his own, it's very scary that he's trying to build up the sequels. I really hope he's not, dude. Like, fuck.
Theory. Come on. You know it is. It's happening. You know it in your bones. You know it in your heart. Right.
I hope not.
I got the radical
Come on.
position that you could still tell some good stories while building up to the sequels. It's not impossible. It's just that I just don't think we're going to see it.
I don't. My thing is, I think that as bad as it is what they ended up doing, the snap decision to bring the Emperor back with no forethought and no setup and whatever, I think it's almost better to tell a couple stories like they have, like in the comics and novels or whatever. For the most part, just fucking leave that shit alone. Leave it a mystery. You know, rather than trying to explain in graphic detail all this shit that people hate, and explain it away. Just tell your fucking own story. Again, Mandalorian, the Mandalorian show. We're past this point now, but the Mandalorian show should have had nothing to do with any of this fucking shit. It literally should have just been about a bounty hunter discovering more about his past, diving into Mandalorian culture. Like the seedy underbelly of society, what shit's like for people that don't care who's in charge, whether it's Empire, Republic, New Republic. Like, that's what this entire thing should have been based off, not bridging the gap and explaining all these things and having all these different Force users. But the ship has sailed there.
Yeah.
Since you all loved Rebel Moon, I think you boys would appreciate Zack Snyder's Star Wars by Aeronauts. I've enjoyed all your individual viewpoints and the excellent conversations between the three of you. JJ from the UK.
That video is fucking great.
It's really funny. Zack Snyder's Star Wars is a funny video. It takes like 20 minutes to get through because it's all slow-mo, but
the exposition parts are brilliant. Like, there's just nothing left for you to misunderstand by the time you watch it in terms of storytelling. That's Zach for you.
I only watched the first 40 minutes of Rebel Moon, so I can't.
I watched the whole thing and made that sacrifice. Hey, we did an episode on that. That was like episode 2 or something. Back in the day.
Thank you, Normac. Thank you, Darth Demos. I agree with Ryan. Episode 1 is so boring. Please kill Echo.
What you mean, Omega?
Echo.
I was about to say, who's Echo?
Yeah, Echo's another clone who
He's
we
with
thought
Rex.
was dead for a long time, but then got saved in the 7th season of Clone Wars.
Wow, spoilers.
The Goon Bucket.
All right, you'll see him.
Correction, I mean Omega. Echo is great.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Omega and Crosshair escape from Tantis makes Kenobi and Leia escape look even worse. In the Bad Batch, they make it look more realistic and well written.
It's better. I don't think it's good, though.
I love how serious Elvis looks in that profile picture. I take him seriously when I see the super chat too. Undeniably is more well executed than Kenobi.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh, easily.
However, like we kind of talked about, I'm sure the super chat was sent before we'd like had the discussion about it. I do think there's some like silly things about it, including the pad or whatever. But
The pad is basically the key to everything, right? I would have liked it if they had to work a bit harder to get the pad.
You can't wait to see Master Windu in Bad Batch. Mid-batch.
Mid-batch.
I agree, Jaundice theory.
I don't. That's too nice.
Jacob says, if y'all want a more compelling story that includes many of the same plot points as Bad Batch, I recommend the Republic Commando books by Karen Travis. Also has a good amount of cool Mando stuff from book 2 on.
Yes,
Behold.
Republic Commando series from Karen Travis did a lot of work building up clones and Mandalorian culture and things like that. That a lot of it got retconned by shit in TCW in general, to the point where Karen Travis said, "I'm not working with Lucasfilm again because all the work I did just got like shit on." But the books overall, I think the book series is really good. Ironically, Republic Commando, like the video game Republic Commando, they integrated some of those characters in TCW. Like Scorch, who even does appear in the Bad Batch as well. So,
Also, how did you call Bad Batch mid when you gave it a 3, Ryan?
well, I was just agreeing with him because he looks like all of us. So
Oh,
I was more
okay,
like,
so-
yeah, I agree, you're cool. But I would say a 3 would be less than mid. I think 4 would be the cutoff for mid, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I guess it would be Bad Batch. It's like actually what we think about it. It's
Yeah.
appropriately titled.
I haven't seen the last Airbender show.
Just seen everyone be mad at it. That's all I've seen.
Oh, is it? Oh, no.
So I have never seen the animated, so I'm not a good judge based on adaptation. I would say that I felt it was mid. I watched the first 3 episodes of live action on Netflix. I don't feel the desire to watch anymore.
I have the controversial opinion of not thinking Atlas very good, the animated show, but it's far better than the adaptation. I watched episode 1 on Netflix, and I couldn't do more than that. I was already like, holy shit, they've changed so many things for the worse. I already don't want to fucking watch this.
You know who did a lot of work on Last Airbender animated? Well, first season?
Who?
Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting that you think it's kind of mid.
Yeah, that would be something I'd be much more comfortable calling mid. This, I would be like, this is offensive to mid.
Happy Revenge of the Grift Monday. So excited for Dune 2. Most hyped I've been for a sci-fi franchise in a while. Just shows how good sci-fi can be. Ah, man, I want to see it. I've been waiting.
Oh, wait,
a couple years for it.
you've seen it, right, Ryan? You said
Yes, I have.
And would you recommend it to everyone?
It is not a. This is how I'll phrase it. It's Dune in general, like the franchise, whether it's a movie or the book, is not something like easy to consume. Right? It's not an easy read. It's not like an easy watch. But if you care, if you're into sci-fi, if you're into like detail like that, I think it's awesome. I really like the first one. If you like the first one, I think you're really gonna fucking love the second one.
Well, here's the question: are they better consumed together, or taking breaks and stuff?
They are meant. So this is truly a part 2. It starts like 10 minutes after the first one ends.
Okay, cool.
Which I was kind of interested to see how they would do that. I don't want to get into any spoilers whatsoever. I know there's a lot of people in the chat haven't seen it, so I'm not going to spoil it at all. But in the source material, there is a time jump. So I was wondering if they're going to do that right off the bat or anything. But it's literally like part 1 right into part 2. Like as if you went into an intermission, you came back and you just kept playing.
I was gonna ask you if this is the end or if there's gonna be a part 3, but I guess that's a spoiler.
Well, I mean, it's not really. The Dune books are like fucking 70 years old. So Dune and Denis Villeneuve has already said he wants to make Dune Messiah. So he wants to make it a 3-part story. Dune
All right, cool.
Messiah would be the 3rd part.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
What if True Flash says, please don't spoil. I will die if he does. Don't worry, I won't spoil it.
Hey, Theory. Cal Kestis is my favorite Star Wars character. Would you ever consider selling his saber, the damaged version from Fallen Order? The full site is coming in just I would say probably 3 weeks, end of March. So I turned 34, March 21st, and we're trying to plan it around my birthday because it's magically just falling around that time. But we're gonna have every saber you could possibly think of. We're gonna have empty hilts. We're gonna have build your own. We're gonna have custom exclusives that I designed.
Jocasta new saber.
We're gonna have Jocasta Nunu.
Ooh,
We're gonna have everybody, dude.
Jocasta Nalase.
Have you cracked the flight sabers yet, or is that coming at a different time? Yeah.
The helicopter lightsabers?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna get one,
Yeah.
No
Well,
balls
I'll
that they didn't do that in live action, by the way.
Once
Oh,
the
God,
full
yeah.
site's available, I'll be sending all my friends sabers. So if you want to do a promo, cool. If you don't have to, but yeah, Ryan, you get one, whatever you want.
Ooh,
Mauler, I'm
damn.
going to send you one as well. You already bought one, but I'm going to send you another one.
I want that Count Dooku hilt.
I want Jocasta Nunu.
I want the Jar Jar hilt.
Ooh, look at that.
He's so cool.
Paradox in chat says, "Uh-oh" for Dune Part 2. Sounds like Last Jedi taking place minutes after Force Awakens. Instant turnoff.
What?
Listen, so the
Do you know what
Dune-
else? Do you know what else
like-
takes place right after the first one? Fucking Two Towers.
also just in general, the adaptation is of the book called Dune. It is one single book. Part 1 covers about the first half of the book. Part 2 covers the second half of the same book. So it makes sense for it to take place right after. So I don't think it should be a turnoff to you, just in general. Not everything has to be compared to Last Jedi.
Ryan and Mauler should design their own hilts. That's actually funny you say that. It's a plan that I've had in mind for a while. Is once everything's fully operational, that we'll have exclusive runs of like Mauler's design, like a Mauler exclusive or something like that, and like a Theory Sabers Mauler exclusive, and like a Ryan one, and whatever.
I want the back end of my lightsaber to look like this for personal reasons.
There we go. Yeah. I mean, hey, we could. If that's what you want, we already had a dildo saber, so now we're gonna do the inverse, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, Tyrone Magnus, sending him one. He's excited for it. Jake the Viking, bunch of other people. So we're gonna have a lot of ideas. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hail the Star Grift. I love the combo you have. Nothing but good vibes and interesting opinions. My birthday is tomorrow. Bad Batch doesn't compare to 2003 Clone Wars. No, we're all going to play 2003 Clone Wars, though, right? Battlefront 2. To 2005.
I'm down.
The re-release?
The new one, yeah.
Fuck
I'm
yeah,
down.
are you kidding me?
Dude,
Battlefront 2 is probably my
Dude,
favorite Star Wars game behind.
It's 64 players online. I can't wait. I'm going to be playing the thing, streaming every single night. It's going to be amazing.
Do you prefer 1 or 2?
I like 2.
I played 2 way more.
So I didn't have a PlayStation 2. I had a PlayStation 1. So whenever I would play it, it would just be at either like EB Games or at friends' houses at the odd often time. But I loved the game.
I got obsessed with 2.
Yeah. I wish I had a PlayStation 2. But now is my time to make up
campaign,
for it.
man. There's so much content in the Galactic Conquest, but the campaign is like
Literally
so
just the
good.
voiceovers.
Yeah.
The clone
so
voiceovers
good,
explaining the campaign across the galaxy and like very subtly, like the
Order
shit and how they felt
66
about the
and-
Jedi
yeah,
and shit.
Yeah. Fuck. I know. It's so good. Why can't
Well,
they just
like,
remake it?
Yeah, you could, and like even parts of the gameplay, right? Like where you're the last reinforcement, you've got to sabotage like some building and then get a command post, and if you do it, you gain another 15, supports. Like this shit could just be made into a TV show easily.
Yeah. Wait, it's PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, right? Are they all cross-gen?
And Nintendo, but I don't know what the cross-platform looks like. I don't know if there's any cross-platform play, so I'm not
I
sure.
wish it was cross-platform on
Someone in chat
PC.
said it will be, so we shall see.
Chat, can you confirm if it's going to be cross on everything? Because that'd be amazing. If it's on PC, I mean, you're all fucking dead. Like it's game over for everybody. Unless you're on my team, because I literally spent my whole life playing JK2, so kind of a big deal.
There you go.
I guess you could say things are getting pretty serious.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more people playing this than the Suicide Squad.
Oof,
You
that's
know
already
what I am
dead.
playing the shit out of is Helldivers 2.
I've been playing that, yeah.
I've heard a lot of
Dude.
people playing that.
Obsessed. It's so good. So enjoyable.
I love the world in Helldivers too. That's another thing. I mean, Starship Troopers on steroids, basically.
It is, yeah. Xbox and PlayStation get crossplay. Yeah, I've been streaming every night on Theories Arcade playing Helldivers 2. So if you guys want to head over there, and Mauler, we should link up.
I don't with all the streams I'm on.
Fuck you, maybe not then, dude.
I have such shit time for playing games. It sucks. Like, and most of the time when I'm playing games, I'm usually trying to watch videos that I've got to keep up to date with. If you know what I mean. I kind of do that with TV shows because I gotta, make sure I catch everything.
Yeah, I'm just enjoying my time playing games. Fuck it.
I haven't
Hey, I'll
played
play
video
Battlefront
games.
2
I
with
don't.
you.
I haven't played video games, like actual video games, in months. The only
Dude,
thing I'm
yeah.
playing right now is a mobile video game called Hogwarts Mystery.
I think I'd lose my mind if I don't get to play video games after like a few weeks. So, like,
Dude,
gotta shoot
I
something.
lost my mind last week. So
it's been months, dude. Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, it's been months for me, and then finally this game came out, and I'm like, all right, I'll give it a shot. Holy shit, I'm addicted. What's up, Lord Vader? So hyped for OG Battlefronts. Good luck advancing on me in the Renvar Caves. Limbo JK 1 and 2 are my favorite games of all time. Hype from well, we got to team up. So we're gonna be making a team here on the channel, and then we'll all destroy the opposition. Sup, fellas? Hey, Theory, what platform will you be playing Battlefront Classic Collection on? Not sure if crossplay will be a thing. So if it's not on PC with crossplay, then I'll be doing it on PS5.
yeah, I've been like trying to look at the chat to see what they're saying. It's all different. People are like, yeah, 100% crossplay. No, only PlayStation and Xbox crossplay. No, only PlayStation and PC.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of different shit. The one thing that I can almost guarantee, Nintendo Switch probably won't be included in that. That's about the only. Don't buy it on Switch.
Sadly. Do you guys think Star Wars Outlaws will be a good game? It's made by Ubisoft and is open world. Also, Theory, your sabers are amazing. Thank you, dude. Yeah, we're about to launch in. I mean, we had a huge meeting yesterday, and I'm very excited to show you guys everything with TheorySabers.com. Did you guys think Outlaws will be a good game? I'm not looking forward to it.
My instinct says no. I have not seen. I haven't really paid attention to too much of it in terms of the marketing surrounding it or any of like the gameplay things they've dropped. I saw that first trailer, and I'll see how it feels when it actually comes out, and I start hearing people talk about it. But I'm just, it's not something that inherently excites me.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about it. I mean, it's
I think one thing that I thought was cool in the initial trailers was when they showed the transition between taking off and like getting into orbit and like getting into space quickly. I think that was kind of unique in terms of something we haven't seen a ton of, like that kind of fluid transition between atmosphere and space and like maybe right into a battle or something.
I agree.
That's something new. But yeah, other than that, I didn't take too much from the trailer other than, I get it. I want this chick to be Han Solo. Cool.
Theory looks like the kid who played Aang in the live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender movie.
I did see that. Pass through the chat.
What the fuck? Who's that?
Well, he's
I don't even know the name of the actor.
Let's be real. The clone in the tank will be Rey's father. That'll be them explaining that. Oh, and Snoke will ultimately be Sabayoth for Dave's film. You have blinders over your eyes. No, I don't have blinders over my eyes at all.
The Snoke will ultimately be Sabayoth in Dave's film is something I haven't even thought about.
Me neither. But what if he's not like an old decrepit piece of shit? What if he's I didn't even think of that. That'd actually be
Sabayoth wasn't like he was old, but he certainly wasn't decrepit.
Here we go.
Like he was.
Here we go. Here's what's gonna happen. Yeah, it could be Snoke. Him and Luke fight. Luke fucks him up. And then there's going to be some sort of explanation why Luke is hiding on an island.
Well,
there you go.
Maybe the reason he's hiding on an island would be well after that, right? Because that would have to be after he's already like not tried to, but thought temporarily for a moment about striking down his nephew.
His fucking nephew, yeah.
I was going to say, they've already provided why he was on that island by TLJ.
Yeah, but well, they're trying to fix everything.
But he also had a bad breakup in the Dave Filoni movie with somebody, and that'll go further to like his psyche, his mental state.
They're trying to fix everything. Just out of curiosity, what would be one example of them trying to fix things?
Well, fix is I'm being generous with the word. Fix in the sense of like, what can we do from here? I think with Luke, The only thing really is to kind of be like, well, look, he went to the island because they were going to clone him or something like that, or like they got a sample of his hand and they tested it, and it's the same thing as Omega, but maybe even better. It binds to Palpatine, so they were going to make a cloned Luke and then have Palpatine go into it, and it would be like game over for the galaxy. So he had to go and hide or some shit.
Do you read the user?
You read the user?
For the super chat.
What? Where?
The username for the super chat.
Oh, yeah, whatever. It's not that bad.
No, it's not as funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even think of that, man. That's actually a really good theory. So shout out to Darth Vader's burnt bomb hole. Why is he wearing a dress? I am your mother.
It's like an apron.
And he's got a duster? All right.
Yeah, he's cleaning.
Cool. The most threatening Hemlock will be is when he tells Omega Santa Claus isn't canon. Andor's prison arc was way better than this. This was lame.
You're gonna catch a fucking disagreement from me. The prison arc in Andor was fucking baller.
Yeah. Well, Mahler loves Andor.
I do.
How do you deal with that? So like, let's say there's a lot of people that like talk shit about all of us, right? But there's a lot of people that talk shit on you, and then I would say like Andor fans are like probably sequel fans, a lot of them, and then they find out that you support Andor and back it up. So then are they like fans of you now, or like what's the deal?
One of the funniest examples of something like that happening was obviously like a huge part of my career at this point is shitting all over the MCU, right? Like every single entry almost. Zack Snyder's the Snyder Cut comes out. I make a video shitting all over that, and then like I guess shit on Twitter and stuff, and loads of people were like, I fucking hate MCU shills. And I was sitting there like, I get hatred every day from MCU fans. Like, what the fuck? This people perceive you whatever way they want, right? Like, in the same vein, a lot of people are like, why does Muller hate everything Disney Star Wars? Like, he's got a huge bias for it. And I'm always just like, Andor, man, it's got to counter that every time.
Right.
But you are right. There's probably a cross section that matches in that way,
like a Venn diagram, you know.
Yeah, and how do I deal with it? It's just it's always going to be in like the arguments. I've got huge breakdowns with people about like the nature of the writing in the sequels versus Andor or something like that. And to be fair, I don't even know this, but Andor came out. I watched episodes 1, 2, 3 and was like, and I didn't watch the rest of it. It was only my audience constantly sending messages saying you should fucking watch it. And I finally did with my friends, and then we were like, whoa. We were very impressed by the time we got to the end of it. Then we were like, shit, that was actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So what I guess I'm saying is I was poised against it, and it still won me over.
Okay. Someone says, how are sequel fans Andor fans? How did you come up with that conclusion? Well, I basically came up with that conclusion by the level of intolerance of Andor fans in parallel with, in congruency with the level of intolerance with sequel fans for anyone else's opinions that differ. I don't find that that's the same with prequel fans or original trilogy fans. I mean, in fact, I think original trilogy fans don't really care about anyone else's opinions. They're just like, yeah, whatever, cool.
I thought you would go in the direction of a lot of people who just sort of like whatever Star Wars new stuff comes out. So a lot of them are going to like the sequels and Andor and Kenobi and Boba Fett. You know, like they'll just be like, yeah, woohoo, new Star Wars.
Yeah, that's what I call like the more so. Yeah, it's that's part of it too, but I think it's just the level of intolerance that I've seen online. It's the Twitter crew of regular people that are just, once again, intolerant of anyone else's opinions. That's what I find to kind of group them all together. Otherwise, I don't actually have any sort of data that puts, if you're an Andor fan, you must be a sequel fan.
Well, I'm a unique breed.
Oh, you are a unique
I'm
breed.
part of the Bad Batch, you see.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. Clone Force 99.
Your tech.
Who would Mahler? Who would we all be? I think Mahler would be.
I'd be Omega, obviously.
Fuck, Ryan's got to be Crosshair.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You probably Tech, yeah. Most likely. Love how Theory overlooked that racist super chat from last week where the dude called Reva Darth Shaniqua. Not cool, bro. He should have been banned. Do the right thing, Theory. No one deserves that. All right, here we go again.
Oh.
What would you like me to do? You know, it's not the first one, and it's not the last one.
It would be, I just really hope that the worst thing in the world would be to have like a Darth Shaniqua parody account that then super chatted. I don't know what we would do about that. That'd be the worst thing to ever happen in history. So I hope that we can protect you, Mr. Jazz 212.
The only problem here is I don't know if that's a troll or not, because it's kind of funny, but then it's also like, wait, they might be serious. That's why I don't know what I'm supposed to say about it.
I don't know. You know, I see things all the time online, whether it's about me or whatever. You just you develop the same sort of way of dealing with all of it, is that you just ignore it and let it move on. Otherwise, if you deal with every single comment or whatever, you block them or you'll have no life. You deal with it the same way. You just, okay, ignore it. That's it.
I accept all super chats, even the ones I don't agree with.
Well, yeah, that's because Ryan's the most tolerant out of all of us, I would say. He's progressive in that way. He's
I am.
accepting.
There's a fan edit of A New Hope where the Death Star's lasers are visually ignited on the outside a half second before blowing up. Pretty cool. Fan edit. Okay.
I guess because like it starts up, you get to see it sort of visually before it explodes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sheev Talks has an excellent 2-hour video on the Clone Wars. Gay actor Michael Douglas, highly recommend. Well, thank you, Michael Douglas.
Gay actor Michael Douglas.
Thank you, gay actor Michael Douglas. How's your wife?
She's gay.
Yeah. On a random note, we have 2 titans releasing this week: Dune 2 and Jave Clavel's Shogun on TV. Oh shit, really? I wonder if any of you are going to talk about that one. Yeah, so I'm actually going to revamp the Movie Bros channel. It's just going to be, I don't know, Movie Bro or Movie Theory or something. Theory reviews. I can just review everything. Games, movies. Just fun shit I like to watch or do. Yeah.
I have heard about Shogun, but I don't even know like where it's airing. So I don't know where I can watch it.
I don't know. I'm sure Mahler will be talking about Dune too.
I mean, it depends. I'll watch it. It depends on if I see like viability, because like I don't have a huge passion for Dune, and then I don't know if my co-host on EFAP will or not. It's always dependent on that sort of thing.
I think you should watch it just because.
I'm definitely gonna watch it. It's just how much I'll care about Dune as a story to sort of break down.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, dude. Gay actor Michael Douglas.
That's right.
Hey Mahler, my favorite Bond villain is also Alex Trebek.
Goldeneye.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Well, yeah, I guess so.
What do you mean?
Good
if
movie.
it's actually Alex Trebek and not Alec Trevelyan.
Yeah, no, I'll drink his. Sorry, I should explain the context. I'll drink his ketchup. I was trying to remember his name, but I said Alex Trebek. Then Drinker was like Trevelyan. I was like, yeah.
Good old Sean Bean.
Sean Bean.
Yeah. He played.
Yeah,
that was Alex Trevelyan. Yeah.
006.
I want a Palpatine Smek scene where he does his Revenge of the Sith noises during the Force penetration. All right, Jaundice Theory. Thank you so much.
I just
Ryan,
like
thoughts?
Revenge of the Sith noises.
Yeah, that would be the closed caption. Says Revenge of the Sith Force noises.
Hey Ryan, are you going to what's it called? I think Comic-Con Dallas or something.
Fan Expo Dallas.
Fan Expo Dallas, yeah.
I don't really currently have any plans to. I don't think so, but I don't really know. Sometime in
And then
June
there was
or
another
something.
one, I think Cosmic Con or something.
Where's that?
In Texas. I think San Antonio.
I don't know. I don't think I have any plans for that one right now.
Fan Expo Dallas. I was meaning to ask you. Oh, June 7th to the 9th. Oh, hey, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one for sure. I know I'm going to be in Vegas in April. That's the next thing I'm doing. And then
Oh, right.
Yeah, and then other than that,
Okay.
I'm not sure about the rest of the year.
Okay, cool. Anybody from Texas here?
Mahler is.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Project Necromancer is Imperial Coffee. Hey, doesn't Gary have coffee now?
Gary works with Geek Grind,
Hmm.
and he's got a couple like special blends with them. Yeah.
Awesome. Is that a new thing?
Like fairly recent, like 2 years. So
Oh shit. Okay, cool. Good for him. Yeah, I didn't know. I don't think
it's
the
not like his
audience-
coffee company or anything. It's just like
He
they
works together with them.
yeah, they started working with us a long time ago. And Geek Grind Coffee.
Dope. I don't think the audience for Acolyte exists. The High Republic books don't sell. Yeah, I don't think so either, man. But hey, what do I know? The Acolyte is going to make Echo look good. Echo?
Well, hold on there.
Echo?
Talk about the Marvel series Echo.
Oh.
You might not have heard of it.
No.
Nobody.
Neither did the lead actress.
It literally, yeah, it can't make Echo look good. Nothing can make Echo look good because nobody knows what Echo is anymore. It's already gone. They'll be like,
What
what?
happened to Willow 2?
Willow
The
you
TV
mean
show?
season
Yeah,
2?
Yeah, why'd they delete it?
Because the first season was so fucking horrific that it was less expensive for them to just delete it from the platform than it was to keep it up.
It was
Oh, Jesus.
shocking.
Star Wars is already in trouble. What happens if Acolyte is bad? Then I feel like the brand is just too damaged. Is Star Wars only good with Lucas? I think Star Wars is only good with Lucas and some fans.
Honestly, I don't even know that Acolyte being bad is going to change anything for Star Wars' current reputation.
I don't think it'll change anything. If it's good, it'll help a little bit, but if it's bad, I don't think it's gonna. You can't get worse than what they did with the sequels. It just doesn't, and then doubling
Recovering
down
from that is incredibly difficult, yeah.
well, and then Boba Fett and Obi-Wan. I mean,
Mhm.
it's literally the biggest nails in the coffin. I think there's one thing left that they could probably destroy, and that would be like almost impossible. I think to really come back from that, even if you release really good stuff. Would probably have to be destroyed Boba Fett, they destroyed Kenobi, they destroyed Luke.
Han and Leia are gone.
Oh, there we go. Han's a loser.
Vader and Obi-Wan, like prequel era and OT era, kind of. Like,
Yoda.
There's always more damage you can deal to him. Yeah, Yoda could be
If you
destroyed.
damage Yoda, say goodbye to your franchise.
Yeah, that's the last straw.
I mean, I will say, I feel like it's already done. Like,
Yeah.
if they would, because if Acolyte were amazing, I don't think it would make a difference either.
It would help
I don't even know how much it would help.
a little bit. Hey, anything is
it-
good at this point.
So if Acolyte was amazing and did well and was well received, it could actually be a game changer because it would be maybe enough to convince them that they can tell stories, even though this one is tangentially connected to
Right.
like leading up to the prequels or whatever.
Outside.
It could convince them that they don't need to stay in the OT prequel era and like use those characters or whatever. They could actually go back 1,000 years. They could go forward 1,000 years. They could tell stories in the galaxy without feeling the need to connect them to those things.
That's right.
So I do think if it was like really successful, that might be a positive thing. But
Well, yeah, what I'm
Yeah.
saying is it wouldn't change much for the world's perception of Star Wars as like an IP, and it's like, do you really think like the Star Wars core fandom going to be like, well, Acolyte was really good, so now I have hope for Star Wars again? It's like, I don't think so.
No, I don't.
there will
think
be
so
a
at all.
certain percentage of people on Twitter that say that. But yeah, other than that, no.
Yeah.
We'll say that about Acolyte anyway.
I think
True.
it'll give them hope that there's potential to create some really cool shit outside of the Skywalker saga, which is honestly, I'd rather they just do that. Like go Old Republic, go far outside of the horrible sequel trilogy. If you're gonna do anything within the prequels, what you did with Luke, with Anakin and Ahsoka in the Clone Wars, give us a whole entire season of that, live action. Give us stories that we haven't gotten before. Do a live action of Son of Dathomir. I'm down with that. There's a lot they could do. It just depends what they do, what they choose, and where in the timeline. I know Ryan really wants an Omega trilogy.
Yeah, of course.
Really
Oh,
brutal
God,
like
yeah.
Ahsoka in the Clone Wars, and Dawson not it.
I don't think it has anything to do with her. Like,
To do with the writing.
yeah.
The problem is that almost every person acts like Rosario Dawson in like the Mandoverse in terms of their delivery and shit.
this could be because we know she's capable, so they need a director who pushes her to be like a character, and then we need writing this good as well.
I wonder how much of it is like working in the volume. Like I have a lot of questions about that. Now, certainly there's characters who speak like they're in a cult because they're literally are supposed to be in a cult, right? The delivery for characters like the armor and Din Djarin, like it makes sense. But all of a sudden, when you get deliveries from Rosario, from even Katie Sackhoff at times, from whatever the fuck Sabine's character's name is, it's like, this is just like the template for in the Mandoverse. This is how we speak to each other now, which makes me think it's more than just like happenstance. Connecting thread.
What's up, Desmond? First time I get to catch a Grift episode live. Mauler, just curious who your top 3 favorite Lord of the Rings characters are. Also curious about Theory and Ryan's top 3 favorites as well. Love you guys. Thanks, bro.
All right, I guess I'll go first. So my number 1 is Boromir. I love that character. He's one of my favorites in general. And then past him, it gets a little bit more complicated because there's a couple I love. Like Sam would be super high scoring. Theoden would be super high scoring. And there's a couple of others I think that would start to sort of scratch at getting close. But I think that would be my choices for top 3. I wouldn't exactly know how I'd rank them other than Boromir being number 1. So Boromir, Theoden, and Sam.
I like Faramir a lot. I don't know if I can. Are we talking about books or are we talking about like movies?
Just do it all.
Up to you.
I would put Gimli up there. I like fucking Gimli. And we'll do Gandalf too.
Oh yeah, Gandalf's good.
I'm not like a massive. I love the freaking movies and I really like the books. I'm not like a massive Lord of the Rings fan though.
I really like Fromir, Tryndamere, and Vladimir. I think those are my favorites. I don't know. I don't know Lord of the Rings that well. I love the movies, but I don't really know much about it at all. So, I'm going to say Legolas, probably Aragorn, and Saruman.
Came close to being a League of Legends top 3 with Tryndamere and Vladimir. Yeah, both.
Oh, cool. Palpatine is Anakin. Vader. Why the hell does he need Grogu or Amiga's blood? I guess he's not a candidate. Perhaps. Remember, Moff Gideon made a better clone than Yeah, what is that shit, man? How does he make like 10 clones of himself and they're all Force sensitive?
They're gonna come back. Like fucking Gideon is so coming back every season.
Doesn't
He'll
make
be
sense.
back with an even bigger army at the end of season 4.
It's gonna be like a million of them. My clones. Oh wait, hold on.
And then together they're gonna bring down a planet on Mando, and Mando's gonna have to shoot the planet so that it doesn't blow him up. It's gonna be great.
Guys,
My clones.
I can't believe it. This is like, I'm triggered right now. I'm like freaking out. I'm having an emotional meltdown. Darth Shaniqua just super chatted, and I don't really know how to feel about that.
Dude.
I think you should delete your channel. It's just the right thing to do.
Yeah, I
protect
guess
everyone
because someone
from
super chatted that. I'm
rogue.
Yeah.
Super chats.
Yeah.
Just being real.
Yeah.
It's real talk here, Star Grift. All right, we're all in for the grift, but if you make a joke like that, that's just over the line, okay?
Got a bad batch in chat. That's what I'm learning.
That's right. And you're all wreckers.
The way you all talk about Filoni makes it seem like JJ is the GOAT. Filoni hasn't done any damage to the lore. He's better than anyone right now. KK is his boss. I agree with that. Don't put me in that. What the hell do you mean? These guys don't like him.
Wait, you agree that it makes it seem like we think JJ is the GOAT?
No, I don't know where that came from.
God damn,
doesn't
he's
make
like
any
the
sense.
patron Satan of this, like destroying Star Wars.
It doesn't make sense.
J.J. Abrams has been involved in 2 things that were very bad for Star Wars. Dave Filoni has been involved in 2 decades worth of things that have been very bad for Star Wars, in my opinion.
As for Filoni hasn't done any damage to the lore, do you agree with that?
I couldn't disagree less.
He has.
He's done serious damage, and then he's better than anyone right now. I still think Gilroy's better than Filoni, easily. And then that's only including the people who are currently working on Star Wars. If we expand it out, there's going to be shit tons of people.
Thanks, Baba. This one actually makes sense. Yeah, Wrecker is Jay. Yeah, that's for sure.
I like how Hunter's so broken up over what's happened to Omega that Wrecker's like the voice of logic and reason, where Hunter's like, we have to go now. Omega's waited so long, she can't wait one more day. And Wrecker's like, last time we went somewhere, it didn't work out very well. Hunter, think about this. And
I
Hunter's
did have in my notes, it's good they have a retard character for the exposition. I was like, some of this dialogue wouldn't work if not for him being retarded.
It's like, bro, Batcher and Wrecker are going to be best friends now.
Hell yeah.
Batcha. Part of the Bad Batch.
Mauler, why you always flick Zippo?
I'll do it because they requested it now. That's how it works. There you go.
Oh, do you smoke?
No, I just like the Zippo lighter. And I like setting things on fire.
Nice.
That's there you go.
Sick. Oh, speaking of smoking, interesting.
Psychopath.
What?
Both thinks Cal Kestis will show up in the Babetch.
In this final season? I don't know about that. When would be the timeline of Bad Batch compared to when Cal Kestis is active? Isn't Cal Kestis younger during the time of Bad Batch? Like he'd still be a pretty young kid at this point, right?
Yep.
I mean, young in terms of like he'd be like 12 or 13.
Yeah, it's 5 years before Fallen Order.
Yeah. So
he's a kid.
And if he did appear, he would just be as some random like construction worker or something.
Yeah.
So like, I don't think there's too much of a chance. We'll put it that way. But I wouldn't put it past Filoni. All right.
Is the Dune popcorn bucket large enough to hide a mousetrap in? I've got a friend who I know I can get good with that.
Damn.
Yeah. Yes.
Disney loves to reinvent the wheel with Star Wars. Do you think the Black Trooper in Episode 3 at 121 is tech? Oh, yeah, I was thinking about that. You know, it kind of looks like... It kind of reminded me of Kanan in his Jedi... What's...
Inquisitor?
I don't know why it reminded me of Kanan. Yeah, no idea.
I mean, you're going to have a lot of explaining to do how Tech survived. Like, he fell down that's more than like a mall fall. You know what I mean?
Spider-Man got him or something. That could make sense.
Yeah, everybody gets one. Maybe.
You guys should watch the Old Republic trailers to see what great Star Wars could be. I do like BB though. Yeah,
those are awesome.
Those are great. Mahler, you seen those?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Hey, that's what Vader 2 and 3 are gonna look like. Chat. Last week I got Bad Batch and Resistance mixed up. Filoni left the Bad Batch after the first episode. He was loosely involved with R. Sorry about that, lads.
You're welcome.
Loosely involved with R?
Resistance. I think that he's just as involved with Bad Batch as he was again. I'm not saying that Filoni is writing every episode of Bad Batch or anything like that, but in terms of the structure, again, it's this whole thing. It's like he's attached as the creator. He's attached as he's the first name that appears in the fucking credits, right? Like this is Filoni's thing. He works with. I think who is it? Brad Rao, who's the supervising director of this. Like they're working hand in hand. Like, come on.
Why do we need the M
count?
I don't think you wanted to say M count. Somehow Palpatine returned. Why can't they just decanonize the sequels? Is it really that hard? Remove all 3 from Disney Plus. Stop selling the DVDs. Besides ego, why not? It's shit.
you have to remember they don't think that. They're
They
like,
don't.
our
That's
precious sequels.
All right.
Love them.
Not only do they not think that, but also it's not just the sequels now. Think about all the storytelling that's been done, in large part by people like Favreau and Filoni, that are trying to connect things to the sequels. If you're going to decanonize things, you have to take it back to 2012.
Yep.
Right. And you have to decanonize everything. I don't care if it's something you like. I don't care if you like Rogue One. I don't care if you like Andor. If you make a decision like that, it can't just be piecemeal. It has to be fucking everything that
Yep.
they've created.
Mhm.
And that is it's a much bigger decision than people make it out to be. And as much as I dislike virtually everything that's been made, say you love Rebels and Rebels means a lot to you. Or even if you hate a lot of other stuff, how are you going to feel if they say, hey, you know, that thing you invested in, you know, that thing you really like, you know, those characters you watched in that hard time in your life and it made you get through it. Fuck you. We're ripping that out. Yeah, that it doesn't count anymore. That's what happened to me and a lot of other people in the expanded universe.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not an easy decision for a company to make. And if they were to do it, they would have to make that decision. It couldn't be piecemealed out.
Right. Nothing in Star Wars will change until DEI gets destroyed. Acolyte will be nothing but Karens and Shaniquas with lightsabers hard pass. Okay, well, I don't think so. And also, let's not get racist here.
I mean, Andor kicks ass as far as I'm concerned, so it's not impossible for Disney to make things that are interesting. They're just, as far as I'm concerned, the same problem has existed for a while. They got to get the right creators. People who really, really care about Star Wars.
I think it really comes down to the vision and who writes it. So I personally think Tales of the Jedi was amazing. I thought Mando season 1 and 2 were great. What else? I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. So I mean, there is like they could make really great stuff, but they're just getting idiots to write it. Or too many cooks in the kitchen. I don't really know what's going on, but it's not consistent. Mauler equals annoying. He obviously wants the future of Star Wars to be some Andor, Game of Thrones level writing with Shakespearean dialogue. George's Star Wars wasn't even as good as that. More of a film critic rather than a Star Wars fan, in my opinion. Okay.
What do you guys reckon?
Well, obviously, I think you're annoying as fuck. So I 100% agree with Mr. Jazz. You know, I was kind of shaky on Mr. Jazz when he got very upset about the Reva comment, but now I'm on his side. Obviously, Mauler's annoying as shit.
Oh, is this the same guy? I don't read names, dude. I don't remember names.
Mr. Jazz, too. You obviously don't read names because you had Darth Vader's burned asshole up on the screen for 10 minutes.
I just...
He obviously wants future Star Wars to be some Andor, Game of Thrones level writing, especially Game of Thrones season 8, obviously.
Yes.
With Shakespearean dialogue. George's Star Wars wasn't even as good as that. More of a film critic than a Star Wars fan.
Mauler is extremely intellectual. The way he sees movies is very, what's the word, fragmented, like broken down, like he can pick apart many moments. The way I look at movies is like not so much about necessarily exposition as much as I look at it like how it made me feel in the end and how the character arcs were in terms of the main characters. And that's, I kind of just focus on certain aspects of film. I think Mauler sees literally everything and takes a magnifying glass to all of it. And that's what makes him a really good, I wouldn't say film critic, film examiner. So I think if you combine that with someone who's a major Star Wars fan, then you're going to get someone who's very analytical with their takes.
There's so many characters that I love in media that are just absolute retards. So I don't know this whole like Shakespearean dialogue thing.
Like Wrecker.
Yeah, he's my favorite. But you know, like Drax, Guardians, like he's probably my favorite Guardian at his best.
He's literally fucking Wrecker.
Yeah, but his dialogue's better. Like, Wrecker's dialogue is exposition most of the time, or I like Pretty Colors or something. But and then as for whether or not I'm a Star Wars fan, like I give a shit to justify whether or not I'm a fan to random people. I'm just like, that's great, man. I'll hopefully satisfy your requirements someday.
Yeah. To people, they can think what they want. We don't have to live up to people's expectations of what a fan is or isn't. Everyone has different qualifications of fandom, I suppose. Hey, Theory, love everything you do. Probably not the best place to ask, but are you recruiting any developers for the team? Would be a dream to work with you. Yeah, for Theory Sabers, yes, we are. But yeah, you can reach out over DM on Theory Sabers Instagram. More about that later. But yeah, we're expanding very fast. Mauler, when is the Destiny prequels versus sequels rematch debate happening?
Oh, I don't know. Probably never. Because he wouldn't agree to it until he rewatches them, and he's never going to rewatch them. For reference, he Destiny said like on a stream the sequels are way better than the prequels. Do you want to know what his reasoning was? He said that the sequels achieved their goals better than the prequels achieved their goals.
And what are their goals?
The prequels were to tell the story of Anakin, like to give context to the OT and the character, while the sequels' goal was to be like an entertaining action thing.
Was this like an actual debate or just like an offhand remark that was like
Oh,
in the middle of
dude,
something else?
it was this. You can
this
find
a
it. It's Adam and
YouTuber?
Sitch's, like, I think it was their 100th episode or 200. I can't remember. It was like an anniversary thing, and he was there. I was driven so mad because, no offense to Destiny, all right, or maybe offense, a lot of political streamers are terrible with media because they don't know what they're dealing with when they go up against like hyper autistic media fans. They're sitting there like fucking.
They're
prequels suck,
looking at
dude.
what's going on in the Middle East, right? And they like go watch a movie, but
Yeah,
really
they go
they're,
out and
they're looking on the entire history of the conflict between the Palestinians and Israelis.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And then they're like, they throw a thing about a movie and it's like, oh, and you crack your knuckles like, I know everything about this movie. Let's go. And it was a big call with loads of people. So Desi would like say something really fucking stupid about the prequels or the sequels, and I'd be like, oh yes, okay. So I would try to explain it. And then someone else would just cut in with like, I don't agree with that because blah blah blah. And he would keep like bouncing between 10 different people, and I couldn't lock him down into anything. So I was like, okay, one day we can talk about it. But yeah, he's very convinced that the prequels are much worse than the sequels, which I think is a wild take. I can't conclude in any way, shape, or form that the prequels are worse than the sequels. The sequels are just catastrophic.
So you've had Destiny on EFAP before. Was it what was that like Asian multiverse movie? Everything Anywhere All at Once or whatever?
Yeah.
You had him on to talk about that, right?
Yeah, well, obviously that when he requires, he sees that movie, and that's his favorite movie of all time. So not had to convince him to do that. But if you want to do the prequel versus sequel, he has to watch all 6.
Yeah. And that would
And
include watching the sequels, which is rough.
I'd happily debate anybody on the prequels or sequels. That'd be fun.
We should get like a 3v3 or something. We could be the prequels, and
yeah,
a team of sequels.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. It'd actually be really entertaining. Yeah, I ain't showing up for a Ray movie. I don't care if it's dope.
Can you imagine if it was?
What's up, guys?
What would make the Ray movie dope?
Yeah, I didn't even want to go there. I was just like, yeah, there's nothing that's gonna.
If Palpatine shows up again, that'd be pretty cool, right?
That'd be pretty cool. Awesome if he did. If he killed her, come on, Theory.
It's
if he killed her, yeah.
No, if he just like showed up. If he just showed up again, what if Ventress was there? That'd be cool.
We could have Vader show up.
What if they brought Maul back? I'm just saying, like that'd be better than probably what they're doing, right?
Go fuck yourself.
What I love is that you were so on board with a Rey movie where she gets killed straight away.
Well, yeah.
What the rest?
Yep.
Why not?
Oh, Bubba, you and Sohi.
Oh wait, I didn't read this one. I just finished Obi-Wan Qui-Gon Master and Apprentice novel today. Have you guys read it? If so, how'd you like it? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool seeing Obi-Wan study as much as he did. I don't know how I feel about all the prophecy shit that was in there. Of course, tying into the sequels, there was like a prophecy about Kylo. But also it really drove home the fact that Obi-Wan just really is not very talented, and it's his sheer discipline to train that made him as gifted as he is. Not even gifted, just as good as he is. And I love the part where Qui-Gon was like, thinking to himself, he was like, when I was his age, I was able to do so much more shit than he can. And just as the overall dynamic between Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan and how Qui-Gon was going to be on the council, but chose to train Obi-Wan. They changed that a little bit from what was before, I believe. But yeah, it was a good book. It's fun.
Yeah, I didn't. That's new canon shit. I didn't read it.
I can't read.
Yeah, Molly can't read.
You can't read?
Nope.
You dyslexic?
He doesn't have the capacity.
Actually, I'm partially dyslexic, but no, I can't read.
Oh, fair enough. They're gonna give Luke's post episode 6 story to Rey.
Yeah, can't wait to see her rebuild the Jedi Order.
Yeah, successfully, unlike him.
Creamy Sheev.
What's up, dude? The Death Star is nearly. Love the stream tonight. Quite funny. Yeah. Sometimes they're different, man. Was Palpatine in the Bad Batch or the other way? Oh, Jesus. I guess we're getting to that. Yeah. All right. Dune Part 2 is absolutely incredible. I'll rather watch Palpatine OnlyFans instead of The Last Jedi. Childhood Died by Lost Souls is our theme song. Yeah, Idra Darren was there to get me horny. Would Creamed Sheev be the type to have the alien prisoners with jobs for the bedroom fun, or is he too xenophobic like Ryan? Peace be upon him. I see Palpatine more as like a purist.
I think if Palpatine was gonna like actually have a child with someone, he would care a lot about that. But I think he would also think that pussy's pussy, and he'd just fuck.
I have many lore things to cite as to supporting this opinion. Okay, like there's so many scenes and references that you just know he's Palpatine fucks. That's what I have to say about that.
Can't believe he was asked that. Fuck, man.
Just saying.
Like, do y'all think the mod support will be easier to make and download in the new Battlefront as a console looser? I'm dumb when it comes to that stuff. Oh, the mod support's going to be pretty cool.
I mean, you know, it's hard to say how difficult it'll be. Well, hopefully, it's simplistic.
What'll be, Murda? Don't mind me. I'm just enjoying a chocolate malt while we're listening to Mauler mauling. Love this trio. Yeah, spam 3 if you guys love the trio here. I mean, I know you do. I just want engagement. So, and hit the like button.
Gotta give him another option though.
Bastards.
Spam 1 if you despise it.
No, fuck
Yeah.
that.
That's engagement theory.
All right, yeah. Oh, yeah, shit, you're right. Holy shit, yeah. Spam 1 if you don't like us. Damn. Dude, you know how to play the game. I didn't even think of that. Gonna sound weird, but I think Disney Star Wars' biggest failure is Galaxy's Edge. Yeah, the movies and shows suck for the most part, but we're not gonna be able to take our kids there and say, this is Star Wars with a straight face. Yeah. They definitely shit the bed on that one.
Just a rock.
Yeah, for sure. Yuri's gay. All right.
Ryan is a fig and Mauler like men.
All right.
And that's from Macaque with a picture of Obama putting in a rainbow dildo in his mouth.
If Bad Batch has a bad or even mediocre ending, I will commit drink and drunk.
Well, don't do that, Fun of the Chaos,
Don't
because
do
it's
that.
going to be bad.
It's gonna be bad.
So don't commit to that now. You're not.
They
ready.
put it in the name. Come on. At least this one's titled correctly.
You never know. YouTube might hit you up and be like, you encouraged this and it's like, oh, fuck.
Can you read, Mauler? Can you read that with a heavy New Zealand accent?
Hunter, Tick, Wrecker, Echo, Crosshair. Crosshair.
Crosshair.
Crosshair.
I don't care, Crosshair. You saw what Tick did.
Didn't Bad Batch already show that chain codes are already implemented into the Empire on large scale? So why the data pad? What do you mean?
It's up to you guys. I don't know about that.
Well, I don't know how the chain code would mean you don't need a data pad. Maybe I missed something. I kind of like, honestly, season 2 of Bad Batch, I kind of skimmed over the first parts of season 2 and watched like the last 4 episodes. Like I watched all those beginning to end, but the first, I don't know, 10 or so, I kind of skimmed through them. So I don't know. Not sure.
Yeah, I don't remember
Right then.
what's about this chain code.
I'm not exactly sure what they're saying.
God damn it, Muller. Why didn't you watch all 3 episodes, 3 seasons?
I totally
I don't understand why chain codes would. I don't know how that would replace a data pad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't really
Like,
understand.
we even heard about chain code in like remember when Boba Fett's like talking about his chain code and like shows that armor belongs to him and shit. Like, chain codes are like some kind of DNA markers or whatever, right? With some like identification thing. I don't know how that would replace a data pad. Maybe I don't understand the question.
03 Clone Wars versus 08 Clone Wars. Fordo over Rex. 03 Grievous over 08 Grievous. Yeah, 03 Grievous is badass, dude. You'll see that soon. Mola. I just joined, but I get the impression that the boys did not love the Bad Batch.
Clickbait.
I loved it.
Oh, he sent it twice. Thank you, sir. Oh, he's one of your folk.
He is?
He's using pounds.
DBTXB. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Hey, Theory, I've watched your videos since 2016, but recently it was difficult given how positive you seemed about recent Star Wars. Now I understand the context, and I truly apologize for not noticing. But recently it was difficult given how positive you seemed? I don't think I've seemed very positive about recent Star Wars, have I?
I mean, a lot of people have been accusing you of the reverse, haven't they?
Yeah. Well, thank you for watching. Can you show Theory the Quantum of Solace song Mauler?
I can send it to him after once we're over the stream, I guess.
What EU story would you like to tell, Ryan?
Well, I've always thought that I would love an animated New Jedi Order series, an animated Yuzong Vong War. I think that'd be the best way to tell the story, just because of the scale, because of the amount of warriors involved, both on the Jedi and the Yuzong Vong side, and kind of the scale of some of those battles. That's always something I thought would be really cool. And I don't think you could really commit to doing it as long form of a TV series that would do it justice. But I think you could do it animated. So that's what I'd like to see. Yuzong Vong Invasion, New Jedi Order. Yeah.
Oh, we did this one.
I tried, yeah.
Disney already has a Star Wars kids show, Young Jedi Academy. Any show premiering at 3 a.m. EST ain't no kids show. Be better, Bad Batch. Be well, boys. Well, I mean, it's just the premiere time. I wouldn't really say that's for kids or not kids.
Yeah, it doesn't. In a way, it doesn't really work that way anymore for TV, right? Because like Disney Plus is the main place to watch it, and that just means it's available. Everyone's gonna be watching it at different times.
It's kind of just more so the watch parties that made it like a midnight thing.
I'm sure, like, it's generally directed at a younger audience. I'm sure that's the case, but like, I just want to fight for. There's so much kids content that when I was watching it as a kid and an adult, that I'm like, God, this shit's good. You know?
Yeah. I think Hemlock gave Nala Say the full lab access because his arrogance led him to believe that he broke her with the destruction of Camino and having Omega. Omega is overlooked because she's just a hostage with no real value. Well, they could always lie to her and be like, we have her in captivity and we're keeping her fucking alive, and unless you do this.
I also don't think that makes much sense. Like they would give him full lab access because you believe that she will absolutely follow every order when you threaten what is apparently going to be the person that would convince her to do the job she doesn't want to do. As in, surely she will try to devise a plan that could help either her or both her and Omega escape, and giving full lab access / lab access. She has the power to release prison cells.
Yeah.
Like, why would you what could possibly be the reason to give her that kind of power? There's just no reason.
No, there isn't. None whatsoever. Thanks, Rossi. Old Battlefront games or on newer gens, though? Yeah. Of course.
Fuck yeah.
Ryan didn't even mention Palpatine's son, third eye on the back of his head that has force.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, Jedi Prince is a fucking wild series. Yeah.
Who? The 28 Days Later sequel? Oh, who's excited?
Yeah, it's 28 years later.
20
right?
years later.
That's weird. That shows up right after. Do you guys think Rey will help fix Star Wars in Episode 10? Yeah.
I don't think it'll be Episode 10, but
Ryan's really looking forward to it. Vader and Boba. Yeah, but it basically is Episode 10, for being real.
Well,
Why?
Ryan's right that it wouldn't be called that, but I'm guessing Theory's correct in that that's going to be their that's their like we're continuing the story that you last saw in episode 9.
Yep.
Yeah, so like it would only be episode 10 to me. You should only do episode 10 if you're doing part of the Skywalker saga, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's not going to be any Skywalkers involved with that, despite one being named Skywalker.
So it's kind of a. I'm doing the poll, but it's kind
Like I don't consider Rogue One episode 3.5.
No, but
yeah.
I don't think anybody really like if this Rey movie, I assume, and it won't do this, but I assume they want it to be like a big thing of, this is the next big bit of lore that enters the Star Wars universe. Because in the same way that Marvel TV shows only add small significant events, I assume they feel that way about Star Wars Marvel. Like the big thing is going to be the big movie that comes out. Everyone's going to have to keep, like Mandalorian and Grogu. That movie will probably have bigger events in it than in all 3 seasons put together.
Mm-hmm. Wow, some people are actually choosing Asajj in the Bad Batch. Are you kidding? What? Should be 100%. What the hell? Vader and Boba. You guys crazy? Who would choose Asajj and Bad Batch would beat Vader and Boba Fett? Oh,
Depends
whatever.
how badly written is it.
Oh, and we will ever see founders of the lightsaber. I mean, probably in the new what was the Star Wars movie about the origins or something.
Yeah.
Season 3, episode 118. Season 3, episode 3, 118, implying limping assassin clone, something or nothing.
That would be this exact same time. Well, almost. The other person said 121. The same one who said they think it was Tech.
Interesting. Don't forget to blue wrench me, mod me on this channel. Theory bought Helldivers today. Let's get it. What do all the hosts think of the game? I think it's amazing.
It's really, 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 really cool. I almost want to see like a TV show in that world. I think it's super fun. That opening cutscene where they like get you into it is so fucking funny. The the perfect world, and then he's like, "This could happen to you," and so what do? You join the Helldivers, that sort of thing. Just like when you shooting shit tons of bugs, and they're just like democracy. Like it's just fun as fuck. Yeah, it's fun to play.
I haven't played.
What's up, Mike, dude? Rossi, now modded. Question from the past. Obviously, 3s and 4 aren't good, but is your grading scales based on 7 being average or 5 being average out of 10? Discovered all 3 of you during 2020 peak podcast. Love all. Thanks, Christian.
Hey.
So I'm gonna explain. So my ranking system is really fucking ridiculous, to be honest. So if we were to take the movie The Gladiator, I give that a 10 out of 10. It's my favorite movie of all time. If we're taking Revenge of the Sith, I give it a 10 out of 10. If we were to take Mando Season 2, I'd give it a 10 out of 10, but not compared to Gladiator or Revenge of the Sith. I'm comparing it to Disney Star Wars. I'm not comparing it to the prequel trilogy or anything like that. I'm comparing it to what Disney has done to lead us into this kind of corner and what they could possibly do to make it better, to give us a bit of an escape. I don't really see it as like, oh yeah, if I give something a 10 for Disney Star Wars, then that means, it's on par with The Gladiator and Revenge of the Sith and everything else that's literally perfect.
If they release like 10 amazing things in a row, better than Mandalorian Season 2, would you then in retrospect change your ranking of Mandalorian Season 2, or like it's rated down to like an 8 or something?
Yeah, that'd be reasonable. Yeah, because, we're coming from The Last Jedi. That was the first real cameo of a Jedi that we got. And Luke, I thought my favorite guy was a bitch. I thought he was gone. And he wasn't. And it hit me at an emotional time in my life, and I freaking bawled. So,
I will say,
follow-up question. If the next 10 things they come out with were even worse than you could have possibly fucking imagined, would you retroactively make Mandalorian Season 2 a 15 on your scale?
No.
Okay.
No, 10's the max.
And doesn't that mean then that on your scale, that's particularly harsh on Bad Batch? It's a 4 by Disney standards.
Yeah, because it's now leading into the sequels. I don't like that.
Someone said, "Why you got a complicated 10 out of 10 scale?"
I know.
Well,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you're
So-
so, like,
Look, if you want me to review everything on a fixed scale of like, gladiators up here, what things will get like a 5. Everything will get like a 5 or a 6.
It's funny you say that because if I go next and then Ryan, like I've tried to sort of make mine as consistent as possible across the board for storytelling assessments.
It's a better
so
way to do it, yeah. But
I run
it's just how
two
I
at
do
the
it.
same time, for lack of a better term, without bias. My desperation to just analyze it based on its cause and effect. So it'll go from top
I like
tier.
your Freudian slip of assassinate that thing. Mueller.
Well, see, you had TLJ on my mind, so I can assassinate that film. But yeah, if 10 out of 10 would be like a I'm not even kidding when I say like Blade Runner, Citizen Kane, like these classic films are all incredibly tight. The Thing, Alien. I would be here forever if I listed them all, but the 10 out of 10s are going to be stuff that when you analyze it, it's like almost impossible to see any kind of flaw in how things move along. And then zeros, you're looking at like I've never given a 0. 0.5 is the lowest I've ever given, and that was to Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. No, sorry, Multiverse of Madness. That was the 0.5.
Yeah.
That film, my video is 6 hours going over how they've broken continuity like 1,000 times in that film. It's incredible. You have to try to make it that bad.
Right.
Point being that a 3 or 4 then it can be okay. Like that could mean something that's pretty damn entertaining, because the other scale I run then is like the subjective side of how much I enjoy a thing. Like at the top of the scale is something like Lord of the Rings, but also Batman and Robin, where I'm just like entertained immensely by how retarded a thing is. And so I try to let people know that side as well, because I am human. So with Bad Batch, it feels like a safe 3 on both ends. I'm not really having any fun. I'm kind of like, this is something that's happening. I can recognize some stuff is happening. And then in terms of continuity, it's not doing very well either. So in terms of what they're asking, I feel like Theory's is harsher than mine. Like my 3 is nicer than his 4.
Yeah, mine's
Yeah,
not
I
as
guess so.
complex as these gentlemen. I give something a rating out of 10 based on how I like feel in the moment. I try to be like somewhat non-biased and admit if I think it's bad but still had fun, I'll try to let you know that. But things also do change, Sometimes the way you feel immediately coming out of the cinema, like when you haven't had time to digest things, you sleep on it, you think about something, you're like, well, that was I kind of feel weird about that now. Like
what
things
I
can
did with
change
9.
after you rate them initially.
Oh yeah,
So-
that's the problem. That's the mistake I made with Rise. Came out of that, I'm like, oh, this was a great film because it fixed this and this and this, and it gave Luke his moment. And I'm like, wait, that doesn't make a movie good. It took me a little time to understand that.
What the hell? Theory, I don't think your view and vibe works with Mauler. He genuinely hates Ahsoka, for example. I don't
It's
think
true.
I hate Ahsoka.
That's why
do I?
it works with me though, because I love Ahsoka.
I think my big issue with Ahsoka is I felt nothing. It was like apathetic in that show. I guess I
Yeah.
hate it for not being better. Like it has potential,
I hate her. And the show.
Well, I didn't like the last 2 episodes, but everything building up to that was enjoyable for sure. The first few, I mean, I loved seeing Hayden come back, but it wasn't really. They kind of just put him in there, right? It wasn't like it was meaningful in any sense in any way that makes sense. And then the whole World Between Worlds, like Jason,
Ugh.
what's his name?
Jason Syndulla.
Jason Syndulla, yeah.
Jason, the name's stolen from
yeah,
Jason
literally, I was
Solo.
thinking, I'm like,
Thank
wait,
you,
that's not-
cocksucker Dave Filoni.
I'm like, there's no way that it's okay, but yeah, and then yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to know more about Balin. I thought he was a really well written character. Interesting.
Yeah, I just think it's you can't have a good vibe with someone if they don't agree with all of your takes.
I hate that. I hate everything wrong with the world today. Where do you think Omega and Crosshair jumped to? Perhaps over to Fat Mace. Also, will you have the dark saber on your full sight? We will have a saber that is dark. I'm gonna bring up a video actually of me. So I tested all of them, and I'll bring up the video. Ryan, if you could read the next one while I find this video.
Who do you guys think would win in a fight? Pain or Asajj Ventress?
Pain?
Pain.
What's pain? Is it Darth Pain or something?
It's T-Pain, I believe.
It's not like Maul's brother or anything, is it?
Yeah, Maul's sister. Maul's sister. Yeah, Pain, I believe. Savage, Oppress, and Pain. It would work. It would work. I'm not familiar with who Pain is.
Apparently it's Naruto.
Oh, I don't know shit about Naruto, so Naruto.
Naruto wins.
Yeah, Naruto wins, hands down. Let me see if I can find where some of this shit is. I don't know exactly where he's at. Let me scroll up. This guy's name's Sub-Zero Bird. Oh, we got a lot of super chats to get to.
We do.
Um,
Here you go.
fucking Saber looks enormous. Like so the angle that you're holding that makes it look like you're 4 feet tall. Like look at, now it looks like normal now that you're moving it.
It's dope.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's the one I gave to Gina.
That's pretty. The pause screen that was on when it started looked like that thing was so fucking big compared to you. Shades of Gunray. There you go. Alex Kaiser for 5. Who wins, Clone Commandos or Arc Troopers? Love the based stream, boys.
Clone Commanders.
Just
Leia had a son named Anakin in the EU. Why would she ever name her son after that?
well,
After
I mean,
Anakin of all people.
yeah. So she was again. She wanted to have someone change that name. You know what I mean? One, she forgave her father for things that happened and wanted someone to like take that name and do good things with it. And that's why she ended up naming Anakin. But it ended up putting like a heavy weight on his shoulders.
This is something, by the way, the sequels did not do anything with, but knowing Leia's perspective on her father after everything that happened, like it would have been great to know what her opinion is of the man who basically made it so that the rebellion had a chance, was the same man who destroyed almost everything. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
Destroyed
and
her parents. Yeah.
yeah, and like
Wow.
was part like tortured her. Was part, obviously Tarkin was in charge of the space station and everything, but he was part of the mechanism that resulted in not her birth father, but her father, like her family, like being destroyed on Alderaan. Like it would have been
There's so
interesting
much-
to get her perspective
what do
on
you
that.
mean? Leia was not served by the sequels just as much as the other characters weren't. They made her General Leia, and they were really proud of themselves for that, but nothing else happened. Like for a character, she was just around, pushing buttons and telling people to go places. And then telling Rey how amazing she is. And it's just like, yep, what a waste.
Do you think Plo Koon is one of the most underrated Jedi
Yeah.
ever?
You can't.
Yeah, he's
I
probably
think so.
not talked about super much. Yeah.
And thanks, Mike, for being a member for 45 months. Saber promos are required.
It's in the
Yeah.
contract.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, theorysabers.com. It's top shelf nerds. He's doing all the marketing. So I sent him over 40 sabers and we're having amazing photos, and you guys will see. Ryan, please tell me you asked the theater staff for extra butter right before you left with your Dune bucket.
Nah, I
spit.
should have.
Well, when they asked you for like how much corn, how much butter, you should have just said just butter.
Yeah, extra butter, no corn,
Just butter. Just
no
bucket of butter.
popcorn.
What are your thoughts on Star Wars: The Old Republic? Do you think it ruined KOTOR 1 and 2, especially the characters?
No, I don't. I get. There's a lot of people that are split about it, about like, especially how Revan goes out in the Revan novel and what SWTOR means for that. But I like the overall story about what happened to Revan and Malak when they went and found the Emperor, what happened to them when they came back. I'm fine with it.
As I see it, I'm happy with 1 to 6 plus Rogue One and Clone Wars. Rest is use Star Wars stories, ideas to me. I don't need anything more. Loving the pot. Oh, thanks, Mikhail.
Yeah, it's,
Don't need
it's a
anything
normal
more either.
perspective. A lot of people.
My favorite part of Battlefront 2 was unlocking the secret weapons by completing feats during a match. the burst rifle melts people.
Oh yeah, they're talking about like if you get like kill streaks and stuff, your gun would get stronger and stronger and stronger.
A few more
It'd be
weeks.
fucking amazing. You know, like if you go on the, you know, like the space battles, if you hang out on the enemy ship, which the AI wasn't exactly great, so you can mow down like hundreds, and then eventually your rifle is just this like it's fucking Death Star basically.
Mm. Do you think Luke and Leia were never brought to a doctor in fear of having their blood taken and then recognized as Vader's kids? It's possible.
No.
Well, I mean, they were
like-
dealt with medically on the ship they were born on, right?
Yeah.
Do you mean like never brought to a doctor in their entire life? On Tatooine, there's going to be plenty of
on
doctors.
entire life. Yeah, probably.
You could go to doctors on Tatooine without worrying about like their blood getting in the system and being discovered as Skywalkers or
Well, I
something.
mean, it's Tatooine first of all, so it's like removed from the Empire. It's the Hutts own it, and then there's Alderaan, which is all royalty, and I'm sure that she would have it done in house. So it's like no one's gonna get no one's gonna get any information on her.
And like the like I guess if there was any suspicion out there, I guess there could be, hey, we got to track this. But in general, nobody really thought anybody was out there. Everyone else thought Anakin Skywalker was dead. I don't really see a reason why they would be too worried about that.
Yeah. No. Amanda Stenberg says the idea of Acolytes to honor the ethos of Star Wars and ideas around the Force and also challenge them, hopefully harmonic. Yeah, well, we'll see.
We shall see.
Literally. How do you guys feel about Zahn's Luke spelling and character?
Hold on. Plague Creation says Tatooine had a stomach transplant shop. That's true. Tatooine was pretty advanced. You could literally die there, and they could just give you an artificial stomach, and you'd be fine.
Listen,
Oh,
okay,
yes.
they regretted killing. What was her name? Fennec. They
Ming
were
Na
like,
Wen's
"Wait,
character,
Oh, yeah,
Fennec
right,
Shan.
we
and
changed
then
our
they-
mind. She's alive."
Yeah. Pretty advanced, yeah.
How do you guys feel about Zahn's Luke spelling and character?
I don't mind the clones, having extra, essentially extra characters in their names. That's how they were kind of delineated, like Joruus, Sabaoth, and Luke. Obviously, there's not too much to Luke's character. He's a clone of Luke Skywalker. He's literally just meant to fight. So
My friend is related to Cameron Monaghan. Nice.
Cameron Riley Monaghan uses full fucking name,
Yeah,
All right.
like a
Cool.
serial killer.
All right.
John Wayne Gacy.
Sweet.
Clown.
Why did Luke throw lightsaber? Doesn't seem like some. What do you mean? Why did he throw it?
Do they mean DLJ?
In
or
Last
something?
Jedi.
Oh, why did he throw it away? No shit.
For-
No
because
shit.
because it was funny.
Yeah, because what does it? Get rid of your past, let it die if you have to. Let the past die. Right, whatever. As far as terrible villains go, Grand Moff Esposito and Thrawn really raised the bar. Who is the worst villain in all of Star Wars? Worst villain.
Grand Moff Esposito.
He's pretty bad.
He's pretty bad, dude. He's yeah. He was good in season 1 and then just became kind of ridiculous.
Was he? Do you remember the finale for season 1? What they did?
Yeah, he just grabbed the Darksaber and took it out.
No, I'm talking about like the strategy when they were like, okay, send in some guys, wait for them, send in some more guys, send in flamethrower guy, and then like they lost. That was catastrophic.
Yeah, it's because Gina fucked them all up.
You're right. The plot did allow her to fuck them all up.
Yeah, I thought he would be. Man, I had different theories from like, oh, maybe Vader trained this guy.
I mean,
He's like,
in case anyone's forgotten, that's the same scene where, if you remember, IG-11 drives in with Baby Yoda attached to him and just starts shooting all the stormtroopers.
that was awesome.
Who's the villain in
What?
Book of?
Yeah, I love that. That was cool.
Who's the villain? Let's pass over that. Who's the villain in Book of Boba Fett?
It was the Syndicate.
Yeah, the Pike Syndicate, which would have been awesome if Maul came in because he
Yeah, that would have been
fucking
awesome.
hates those guys.
Yeah, it would have been great. if 9 years after
Oh wait, it was
A New
9
Hope,
years.
if Maul was still alive again.
Oh yeah, it was after.
I would love
wasn't it?
that.
You could do
It was
Ghost
after.
Maul.
No. Well, it could have been the. Oh, you're right. It was a fucking. I didn't pay much attention. I mean, I never watched it again.
Yeah, like I remember the fight, but I kind of like don't remember like who the antagonists were in that show. Like
it was
after all
Cad
this time,
Bane. It was Cad
Fucking-
Bane, the Pikes.
What's her name? Kills them all in like a after credit scene. Like just, they
Fennec
survived
Shand.
the onslaught. Yeah.
Fennec Shand, yeah, she kills them all. Someone says Admiral Trench. Snoke has the potential to be a very nasty villain, but he was killed off so stupid. Yeah, he did. He had the potential. They destroyed him.
That Andy Serkis playing him. What a waste.
No, he was amazing. Anyways. What's up, boys? Just got my Dark Apprentice Profi Saber. Can you make a video on the pixel choices? The Profi is confusing AF. Yeah, you got the most elaborate, illustrious, confusing board, but you can also do the most with it. So right now we're actually having... Top Shelf Nerds is actually meeting up with Blue Mamba and all these names. Meeting up with Carter, who is literally a whiz on every single board. And we're having professional videos done for you guys to know how to use your saber, the differences between the boards, as well as how to program different sound fonts into your saber if you so wish. We're going to have step-by-step guides. We're going to have video guides and all that. Everything's coming. I don't do anything half-assed. Believe me, this site will be a game changer for all of the saber community and saber enthusiasts.
you're talking to a man who does everything full ass. All right,
Yeah.
not half
Exactly.
ass.
Full ass and
Right.
balls. Random question, why not Le Chiffre as the best Bond villain? Oh, he was. Trevelyan and Sanchez are tied for second, and then Telly Savalas Blofeld, for me at least.
I like
Yeah,
Lashif.
it's a fair pick.
Le Chiffre was great.
Lashif is cool because he's smart, he's brutal, he's got a weird disfigurement. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
all the things that like you kind of require for
creepy.
like
Yeah.
Yeah.
for Bond villains.
Did he cried blood, right? That was his
Cried
thing.
Cried
bro.
blood, yeah. But I also liked I liked his story that he's basically like an accountant for all these
Yeah.
fucking people, and he lost all the fucking money and needs to win
Yeah.
it back.
Yeah.
You know? And he lost it on that big investment that he had on the fucking jet that he was going to explode and like, whatever was going to happen to the stock afterwards.
Yeah.
So, like, I like the idea of like, that's what his fucking role was. And that's
Yeah.
why he was there. And that's why Bond was there. The whole thing's awesome. And he's in panic mode after
He is.
he fucking loses.
Yeah. Yeah. Who are those guys that were trying to kill him? I didn't understand that. Just like,
The people so he was basically a banker for
Yeah.
a bunch of criminals,
yeah.
right? Like he was the investment guy and he lost all their fucking money. So now
Right.
they were after him. They wanted him dead because he lost their fucking money.
So they sent some dudes after him.
Yeah.
I always thought the name Blofeld was just kind of funny. They could have come up
Yeah, it
with
kinda
a
is.
different name.
It probably wasn't as funny in 1960 or whatever, but
Anyone know when Gina's lawsuit is supposed to happen? I'm not sure.
I mean, it just recently got filed, so these things take time.
Was Darth Sidious not speaking with the authority as all the Dark Lords of the Sith when he was knighting Anakin as his apprentice? Hence why his voice was changed. Just my thoughts. That's an interesting theory.
I think he's just channeling the dark side.
I think he
I
was
think they just wanted to make
ready
him
to
monstery.
fucking explode after,
He's been hiding his
dark side.
true nature.
Yeah, and like being so patient without any sort of signs of him, having any ulterior motives or anything like that with Anakin for 20 years. Holy shit! Wow.
Well, and this
really
is the
for 10 years.
this is the culmination of 1,000 years of Sith planning and strategy and the dark side rising, like to ultimately this
Yeah.
fucking blow against the Jedi that's like happening right
Yeah.
then. Yeah,
It's
just
1,000 years, so it's like probably all that dark side energy. He's just like, he's just like
so it makes him
teeming.
sound orgasmic.
Yeah.
He's getting
Acolyte
off to it.
is gonna be a woke nightmare of a show. Will sink Star Wars to new lows. Well, we'll see.
Hmm.
I hope not. Would you have stopped watching new Star Wars projects if you didn't have channels where you review and discuss them? As Filoni, no, I wouldn't. No, I'd be watching them all the time.
I would be
Well,
more
this is
select about it. like I'd probably see the new Ray movie because I'd want to see what they're up to, but I wouldn't be watching like Bad Batch.
I wouldn't have watched the first 3 episodes of Bad Batch the first week they released. I might have gone and checked it at some other time, but I'm like, halfway.
I'd be on.
I care a lot about Star Wars still, even though it's been fucking really shitty.
Yeah, I mean, we all still care about it. We don't want it to fail. We just don't think that the leadership there they really know what they're doing.
Especially Dave.
I think Dave knows what he's doing.
I was speaking for myself.
I know. Yoda was a she in canon, like clownfish. What?
Like a clownfish changes their gender or something? I don't know.
I get the impression that there is nothing Disney could do to impress Ryan and Mahler. So I guess no new Star Wars. Please.
What? You can't beat me up for liking Andor and then simultaneously say there's nothing I like from Star Wars. Pick one.
What are you talking about?
I think they... Is there anything that could impress you guys?
Literally Andor. I was impressed with Andor.
I think Andor is better than like anything else that they've made, certainly. I don't know if I was impressed by the craftsmanship of Andor, even if I'm not totally down with the story or interested in the story.
Yeah.
Again, what I've said for a long time is I think that they need to go way ahead and way back, tell stories from that era. It would be impressive to me if you could create characters that stand on their own without having to rely on nostalgia, whether that's a fucking sound of a TIE fighter or the name of somebody or some stupid dead character that gets resurrected because, oh my God, right? Like that would impress me if you could create characters that stand on their own without having to rely on nostalgia in the Star Wars universe. I'd love that.
It would be cool.
There's so many things they could do that I would like, but we ain't got it just yet with a lot of
I don't know if you have the people there that can tell the stories, but
now that I think of it, yeah, dialogue in Mandoverse so flat and bad acting. Whereas OT dialogue was unique and from a galaxy far, far away, at least it tried to feel different. Example, Luke's dialogue in A New Hope.
Like, obviously, look at some of the prequels and some of the dialogue and the exchanges there. There is a little bit of, like, it does feel a little almost theater-esque at times. You know what I mean? With that type of
nice
delivery.
way to put it.
Yeah, like almost like you're watching a play.
Mm-hmm.
And I think some of it is supposed to be some sort of like Shakespearean tragedy. And I think that's like the vibe they were going for with the prequels, especially in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is different. This is like fucking robotic. Like everyone sounds like they're really happy to be at work. I don't know.
Remember
it's
when
a fucked up time in the Empire, so I mean,
remember when that guy's son was taken in the 4th episode of season 3, and it was like you only found that out when you finally got like slightly near him, and I remember losing my mind. I was like, you had that connection the entire episode, and you didn't use it. Like having him talk about it, having him relate to Mando about fatherhood, doing anything to bind his character, and then that guy gives up his life for all of them at the end of the season. I was like, you could have made it so much more meaningful, but you did nothing. Like instead, you have him fight on that weird spaceship boat thing. Like, remember they fought over like chess or whatever the fuck.
And he was like, no.
Brothers, let us put down our swords. Let us not.
I also liked in that, was that the same episode where like that random fucking pterodactyl comes and steals a kid?
Yeah,
and they're like, this is as far as we ever make it till our jetpacks run out of fuel. Every time it happens, this is as far as we get.
That episode was
like,
so fucking stupid,
like,
dude.
What the fuck? What do you mean? How often does this happen? Why haven't you actually taken care of the problem? And why do you keep going the fuck outside? Like, you guys retarded? How did the Mandalorian culture survive this long?
True.
Shin Hattie suits, I could get behind that. Talking about power levels in Star Wars, a question for Ryan in theory. Can Valkorion work in a mainline film since he's so powerful? Well, yeah, sure. I mean, they just dumb him down.
I think you could. It doesn't work because it compressed the timeline. But if you go back 3,000 fucking years, 4,000 years to that timeline, I think that you can do different things with the Force that maybe in either explain it away that, these practices were lost or things like that over time to try to show some of that. I think I think you could do it, but you are talking about a extremely powerful being.
Ryan, I still really want to see you make Legends content, man. Legends lore.
Yeah.
Just simple shit like who's Valkorion, who's Arkin, who's Treya, who's Scion.
Yeah.
I mean, no one watches that shit anymore, but at least there's a few people that will really respect it and enjoy it.
That's true. If I ever get any,
Why not? Just
if I
turn
get
the
any
camera
extra,
on.
if I get any extra, well, one, that's not like a turn the camera on thing. That's like something you want to, make sure you do your research on, get all the facts right and all that shit. So that's not
Well,
just to turn the camera on and spiel.
Well, no,
but-
I mean, like, you could even just, like, talk about him like you do here, or whoever here. Be like, oh, okay, he was this guy, this, and this, and if you want to know more about him, let me know. I can make, like, a full extensive lore video.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
I think a lot of people would like it. And if I ever get a little more time and make my process that I do a little more streamlined, it's probably something I would really like to do.
That shit doesn't make money. No, it doesn't. No, anytime I make a fan fiction or lore video now, man, nobody gives a shit. It's not like it was several years ago. No one cares. It's all about more so news and the state of Star Wars and like, oh, they did this, they did that. That's what people want to watch nowadays. It's not. No one gives a flying fuck about lore or comics or fan fictions. There's like a select few, but I would say where in the old days I would make a video on lore, it would get like 100,000 views in a few hours. Man, that probably won't even break like 30 nowadays. No one cares.
It's a combination of no one cares and also the market's just more saturated. You know what I mean? It's like, because now that more people have gotten into doing YouTube and doing those types of videos, now you're competing against things that might have 1.5 million views from 3 years ago. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, like my old stuff, yeah.
Like your old stuff or other things or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just the market is more saturated when it comes to stuff like that.
I never looked at it that way, but yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's a combination, the interest level and the saturation. Like if I put out, I don't know, if I put out a video right now of how to make a peanut butter jelly sandwich, if I was the first person to fucking do that, I might get a lot of fucking hits. But if people have been doing it including myself, for 10 years now, it's like.
I would really argue if you were one of the first to do that, everyone's going to still come back to watch how you do it because like they might not like the way that someone else makes a peanut butter sandwich or their camera or their background or their voice or whatever. So there's so many different things.
Yeah, but they're probably going to find, but they're in the algorithm, they're probably going to find that one from 10 years ago that has 30 million views.
Probably, yeah.
Instead of the one you just released.
Instead of the one you just, yeah, right.
I don't know. I don't know anything about YouTube. It's just me guessing.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, my old videos, like, there's 3,000, over almost 3,100 of them. They all still, every day, there's just, on every video, there's people still just watching. So, yeah, they're watching, they're there. They're just, it's not as much as, like, Battlefront 2 remake, stuff like that. And I really blame that on Disney, to be honest. I think if they really stuck to making the sequels good, people would be so heavily invested in what they used to be when the sequels were coming out. I'll do Movie Bros with you. It would be fun to see a movie on Friday or Sunday, review it together. Like, oh, that sounds very fun, but I'm going to work alone for now. Appreciate it. Where are we going to see when the Star Wars comes?
That's such a weirdly phrased sentence.
Big fan. Who would win in a fight, Prime Robert Baratheon or Daemon Blackfire?
Ooh.
That's
Baratheon.
tough.
That's from Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah.
Rob
Dude,
Baratheon
Bobby
is-
B, like prime Bobby B, before he got fat as shit with that fucking Warhammer.
Yeah. You ain't to be fucked with. That's one that could go like both ways. But I think a lot of people would go with Damon, though.
And hey, John, I would recommend making your own channel, man, if that's what you want to do. If you want to see a movie on Friday and then Sunday review it, I mean, yeah, I'd like to work alone right now.
So, and yeah, I don't know.
What?
Like, just to be clear, like, that's not Daemon Targaryen. That's Daemon Blackfire that they're talking about in that.
Yeah.
Not Daemon Targaryen that you saw from House of the Dragon, for anybody that was interested in that question.
theory, now Mahler is watching Clone Wars. You should have a group watch of Mahler's videos over the sequels.
You do a 24-hour stream.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Again,
Put aside a whole fucking week for that.
18-month stream. Yeah.
Just release one a week, Mahler.
Okay.
Yeah, why not? Disney Films president leaving Disney. I was thinking, what if they pulled a Jurassic Park? Meaning, what if they clone a character from the past, Revan Bane? At this point, I just feel like they'll ruin him too.
Now you're coming around, Theory. I love that answer. That's a good one. I agree. If they brought any character like that back, whether they were dead, whether it was the real them or a clone, man, that'd be rough. That's not great storytelling. Yeah. Because you like to play with it.
Like
I mean, it's pretty fun. It's like known for its,
Funness.
sound. Yeah.
What is the one thing you would change that you think would have the most positive impact on the sequels? Side note, the dynamic between you three is awesome. I love these guys.
No.
I can't wait to hang out with them, have dinner. Well, I hung out with Ryan, but
That's true. We didn't eat anything though. I drank a
next
lot.
time.
I think that I don't know if like one thing, but I guess the one change I would make for the sequels is ensuring that Luke, Han, and Leia are still like together, still respected, still important, and still like working together. Like that to me, probably, regardless of whatever other changes you make or anything else you do, I think if you start off there from that perspective, not to say they're perfect, not to say they wouldn't have any problems, but if you start off from there, I think everything else in the sequels becomes a better story to tell, and it's more easily accepted by a lot of different people.
I agree with that. Exactly. What's up, John? Oh, Mahler, yeah, please.
Well, just it's like short of decanonizing the whole thing in terms of one change, like what Ryan just said is pretty much where I would want to go with it. But if they said like, no, that's too many changes, you're gonna get one, like probably saving Luke is the main one.
Yeah. And don't cut him off from the Force. Stupid.
He cut himself
Ready for the
off.
disaster. That dude, we got a release date, isn't it? Fucking June.
June 5th.
Crazy.
I've already got it marked in my Google
I
Calendar.
forgot to make a video on that. Damn it. Yeah, June 5th, man. That's nuts.
It's very bold of them going up against House of the Dragon. Can't wait. Me and Maul are going to be busy. We're going to be doing House of the Dragon reviews, Acolyte reviews.
That's good, man. Good.
Hell yeah.
Work's going to be busy. Hey, guys, love your podcast. I'm a big OT fan and want to read more of Luke's adventures after Return of the Jedi with Abeloth. Any books you guys would recommend? Much love from New Zealand. We'll be buying Maul Saber soon. Right on, Michael. And for all of you that want to buy a Saber soon, full site will be up probably end of March, mid-March, end of March. And then we're going to have a massive, gigantic, ridiculous sale from May the 4th. So just keep that in mind for now.
Cool.
Ryan, you take this one, bro.
Yeah, so the specific book series that deals with Abeloth would be the Fate of the Jedi series. It's a 9-book series that takes place like 35 to 40 years after A New Hope. If you just hop in there, you're probably gonna have no idea what the fuck is going on. Honestly, there's like a lot of books before that, but if you're like interested specifically in the Abeloth storyline, the Fate of the Jedi series is where that takes place.
There you go, Michael.
Unfortunately, if I was to tell you what you need to read to have full understanding, I would say the Thrawn trilogy, the Jedi Apprentice trilogy, probably a little bit of Young Jedi Knight series, the New Jedi Order, which is a 19-book series, the Swarm War trilogy, which is 3 books, Legacy of the Force, which is a 9-book series, and then you hop into Fate of the Jedi. That would probably get you like the bare minimum to understand kind of what's going on.
Crazy.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the sequel trilogy where they used the theory that Jar Jar was a secret Sith Lord the whole time? No.
I mean,
Oh man.
I
We're
like
almost
it.
at 2,000 likes. If everyone could hit the like button once, that'd be great. Don't hit it twice because that'll unlike, but appreciate you. It couldn't happen to Ryan because the Star Wars EU was never canon to begin with.
Oof. Not according to Lucasfilm.
What are your thoughts on the mass shadow generator, Mauler? What do you
Ryan,
mean?
help me out.
So a mass shadow generator is something that interdictor cruisers used. It basically generated a gravity field that was big enough to replicate that of like a planet, so that people could not jump into hyperspace while being within that gravity well. Now this
I
is
remember.
now this is before they did all the like fucking Star Wars, or all the like the fucking light speed skipping bullshit from Revenge of the Sith, or not Revenge of the Sith, from Rise of Skywalker, where they're like literally coming into hyperspace in the middle of a fucking planet. But that's the gist, is that it would generate a gravity field so that you could not go to hyperspace. You could trap ships. And Thrawn actually used that with like extreme preciseness during his war with the New Republic. Because
sounds interesting.
What he started using it for, for a long time it was just used for them to trap people, go in space lanes, have an interdictor fire up its gravity wells, so you're like catching ships coming out of hyperspace, enemy ships, fucking trapping them there, whatever, or to just spring traps, things like that. What he started using them for was he would jump a small fleet, put a couple interdictors in, and like position them precisely, and then he would jump his fleet in right where the mass shadow started, so he could have these precise, insane, coordinated dropping out of hyperspace with your fleet already deployed, already ready to go. And he fucked people up like that, which is really cool. But that's a mass shadow generator. How do you feel about that, Mueller?
Yeah, I said that sounds interesting. Like, I actually prefer advancements or new technology that's essentially really strong versions of something that's already possible, just developments over time in that way, not something that's just so new and insane that couldn't possibly make any sense whatsoever. That sounds like it might work. I probably need to see everything in context, but I find it more interesting than like hyperspace tracker or kamikaze that destroys an entire fleet.
6 years ago, Dave Filoni debuted The World Between the Worlds on Rebels. Yeah, I'm not
Thanks,
a fan.
Dave.
If someone had a theory saber against your throat and you had to smash one of these, all right, bro, I ain't picking any of this shit.
What? You want to have a shit? What?
I'm not playing the game. I'm playing the game. Darth, fuck. I had a conversation with my friend, and he says he wished Count Dooku was in Phantom Menace and see a live-action version for the Tales of the Jedi scene between Qui-Gon and Dooku. Yeah.
I mean, if I would not that we can now, but redoing the prequels, I would. I think we talked about this. I would have way more Dooku.
Yeah, I'd put him in there somewhere, but he was pretty much gone at that point. But I guess on the outskirts, you'd have it.
Well, I think you could definitely, right? If you like link it up with Plagueis, where you can see Dooku, and like really the last straw is when Qui-Gon gets killed. That's like the last straw for him, right?
Yeah.
It is when Qui-Gon ends up getting killed, and that inaction really drives him to become more politically active.
Yep.
I 100% think you could make room for part of that story somewhere, but I don't know. What?
Someone said Ryan doesn't have eyebrows, and then I looked and I'm like, oh yeah, what the fuck? It looks like you don't have eyebrows because of the way the light's hitting your face.
I have very light eyebrows. It's true.
Yeah, but it. I didn't even know. Fuck! It's funny. Laugh. I'm
It is.
bald.
I mean, it is funny.
Whatever. At least we both imagine the two of us put together.
It's true. Theory's got
like-
fucking crazy eyebrows, but he doesn't have any actual hair.
We'd look like fucking Caillou.
We would look like that one thing that they created of us with Mahler's mask on us.
Oh, jaundice theory. Yeah, great, cool.
Mahler, what was that fucking that picture you shared in our Discord chat that was all of us? Is that going to be official art? What was that?
Oh,
that was horrible.
It was from Bayoin. They do art for EFAP a lot.
Yeah, Horrific.
You know what? Let me make that the today's. Yeah, you know what? Why not?
Oh
I,
god.
I look cool in it.
You do look cool.
Yeah, you're a fucking mask. You're an avatar.
Theory looks like he's
Exactly.
got Down syndrome. I
Dude,
look like I'm way
don't-
older than I actually am.
I look.
You do
I don't know
look
about
old.
that, but I just
I
look
look
like
old.
a fucking creep. I
Yeah.
look like a creep. You look like you're from Mesopotamia or something like that. I don't know what the deal is.
Like
anyways.
back when it was called that, maybe.
Literally, yeah.
I look really fucking old. Should we pull that up? Here, let me fucking.
I'm pulling it up right now. I'm adding it
Okay.
to the stream. But you know what?
God.
Actually, you know what? Actually, I got a good idea.
They got my eyebrows though.
There we go, boys.
Are you pulling it up? Or you?
Yeah, it's loading. I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
Oh,
Look at that.
nailed it.
All right, hold
It's
on.
like
Let me actually pull it up on top.
I love your face is just stuck between the three boxes.
Yeah, fuck, dude. Creepy. Creepy.
let's actually screen share it. There it is.
Ryan, you look seasoned. Look like
Look
you've been through a
tired.
lot.
Yeah, you're like, I'm having a rough go, man.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I'm kind of feeling that vibe now. So that does kind of feel like me.
Full blown.
Yeah, like the beard's bigger than it actually is. The beard used to be that big. I cut it back a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
But look at how old I look. God,
thank you for the effort.
damn.
But I mean, I don't think you really captured our features.
Mahler looks amazing.
Yeah, he looks great as usual.
You look retarded though, Theory. Look at that.
I just look like a creep. I look like I'm gonna. Yeah, fuck.
That does look like someone's just depiction of someone that did horrific things. So like that's
Yeah,
a
like
drawing.
Right, looks
Like you're on a
you know,
list somewhere.
Like find this guy, like wanted.
Yeah.
Like he's probably got a white van. And,
Like yeah, like stay away from ice cream shops and
yeah,
candy shops. Yeah.
yeah. Ice cream theory. There you go.
I think it looks great. And you are both very handsome people that I would happily swipe. What do they do? Swipe left or right? Which one's the accepted one?
I don't even think this would be allowed on a dating app. I think it would get taken down immediately. Which is like, who the fuck is this guy? What has he been through in life? I don't know. Thank you though. Whoever drew it.
The more I look at it, the more I do think I look like that, and it makes me sad.
Wait, let's try to can you put the Pharaoh hat on? Let's try to reenact it. Here, hold on.
How many super chats we got left?
A lot.
It's not gonna fit in this
3
thing.
hours.
A lot.
All right, hold on. I'll be. Keep reading.
All right. It's funny. If Rey wears a string bikini swinging a lightsaber, it would be dope. All right. Yeah, let's add to the misogyny. Great. That's what I really need. Mahler's thoughts on Elden Ring and the shadows of the Erd Tree trailer.
Looks cool. Hopefully, it's more than just boss fights that I find like satisfying enough. Not to say that I am intending to play it. The story of Elden Ring is fucking baffling to me. Like watching that storyline in the trailer in terms of like, you know, oh, character X will go to place Y. Maybe I was like, I don't fucking know what's even remotely going on. I have to watch a bunch of lore videos, but you know, I hope it's what the Souls fans are looking for. I guess I implied that I was going to play it there. I didn't mean to. What I mean is like I'll check it out if people I know, sort of who I trust on sort of Soul stuff, if they say like it's great, then I'll check it out. There he is. It does look like Ryan's dad in the picture.
Oh, fuck. That's great.
He passed it on.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. Oh, shit. Wait, hold on. There, now it's accurate.
Hold on, put it up.
Great. Oh well, Ryan can be on the bottom today.
That's fine. Tired of doing all the work.
Switch it around a little bit. Theory, have you seen the Sora AI videos? Might be a great way to make future fan fiction. Yeah, it popped up on Instagram. Yeah, I was meaning to check it out. I just haven't. Dale, can you guys start watching the Clone Wars this week? I think we're gonna get through the Bad Batch, and then afterwards, probably Clone Wars.
Isn't it Acolyte after that?
We got a month.
Oh, okay.
It was June 5th, you said, Ryan?
June 5th. Yeah.
Yeah, literally like a month. If Disney were smart, they'd drop all the Disney Plus projects and hire Denis Villeneuve to make a KOTOR movie trilogy. No more or less focus on gaming until then. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd be down.
I would love for Denis Villeneuve to. I would absolutely watch a Star Wars movie from him as long as it was something that he like was passionate about and wanted to do, and not something that they were just like throwing at him and trying to get him to do this because of whatever reason.
Someone says, thank you for your service, Ryan. Love the show, guys. Best part of my weeks lately, says Foster.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hard disagree with Andor fans, sequel fans. Andor feels gritty, immersive, mature, natural connection to the OTPT steer story plot. Sequels, not that I think Andor fans are actually hate the DT most. I was a little confused there.
A little bit.
I like steer story.
Yeah, what does that mean?
S tier.
Okay, great.
Steer story.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know.
I just think not in terms of the actual product. I just think in terms of the disagreeableness that you know. That whole bricks and screws thing was absolutely ridiculous, just like the misogyny thing. But I mean, whatever. You know, I'm making a simple point that literally looks like there are bricks that you'd find on a construction site instead of nice smooth sandstone that was in the prequel trilogy. And like what the fuck is wrong with these Andor fans? Why are they so butthurt about this? It's like one comment.
You did also say the thing about cheese and wine, and which I thought was funny.
Yeah, after the fact for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, the fuck is wrong with these people, man? They can't take one guy's opinion.
Wait, was that in your? Hold on, was the cheese and wine thing in the Obi-Wan video?
I think it was in his video about like how Star Wars is fucked or whatever.
Yeah. And I think I took a jab at Andor fans.
Yeah, like they said out there, the cheese and wine and their college degrees.
Wearing
The
a
movie
beret.
reviewers, the critics, yeah. Yeah.
They swirl their wine and they snip it and they say,
Yeah.
wow, I was able to do this before a line of dialogue passed. It means this movie's good.
Yeah, essentially. Pretty much. Jason Solo lightsaber for Theory Sabers. Oh, we're gonna have some amazing stuff, man. You just wait. I ain't talking about it too much, but I'm just saying, y'all see. Mahler should eat a cream pie of some kind. I will not leave his closet until I see proof on his MySpace page. What the Gaylord Zepikowski.
Are we still talking about Palpatine or what is this?
I'm not sure.
Code cylinders to my earlier question. Sorry.
Oh, Gandalf is the one that asked about the code.
Data packs in the
The data pad. He was talking
code.
about so code cylinders like their rank cylinders and stuff that they keep in their pocket. That would I 100% agree. You should be able to like open doors or access things with that. But the data pads to me were much more like you could operate almost anything with the data. So I don't think that those could replace data pads. But in terms of just access to a door, I think you're certainly right with that part.
Some doors.
Yeah, I'd be fine with data pads, but just different profiles, different access gives different power, right? Like that's just how anyone would use it.
Yeah.
Remember when Mando season 2 had the security that was you required you have a face?
You need to prove, you need to prove you have a face, not like a face of someone that we know works here, just a face. There's been too many faceless men from Game of Thrones that have been getting through here.
Slender Man walking.
All right?
In.
Yeah.
Favorite Jason Bourne movie? I enjoyed the first one. I don't really remember the others all that much.
At this point, I need
Supremacy
to
and
rewatch them.
Ultimatum.
Yeah, I just recently watched the first one,
The first one I think is the best, for sure.
like 4 months ago, I think, 5 months. Which was worse, Mauler, Deadshot, VA's underacting, or Boomerang VA overacting?
Boomerang easily. That shit was grating. I can take people being like boring or whatever, but when you have someone who's just like blah, 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 constantly, it's just like, ugh.
So you really love Omega and Wrecker. Good to know.
I mean, the funny thing is, like, they're annoying, but they got nothing on Boomerang's VA. They couldn't even get close.
Anakin in Episode 2. He's as wise as Master Yoda and as powerful as Master Windu. Theory. Obi-Wan was shit. He just studied a lot. Kidding, guys. Love the show. I mean, it's true.
Well, but those two things could be true in the sense that that's what Anakin thinks of Obi-Wan at the time, you know, of saying that.
Yeah. Well, he was just being nice. Which Star Wars character would each of you cast Arnold? Man, I remember that moment too when they were showing trailers of it. But they showed like a sneak peek on some talk show or whatever, and like Anakin was like levitating the dude. It was so it was so cool. I think that was in like sometime in 2002. It was amazing.
Arnold could probably make a good Jar Jar, I think, like a different alternate dimension Jar Jar, something like that.
What the use is Miss doing?
It's perfect, really.
Arnold as Jar Jar. I mean, that'd be fine with me.
I need to go pump some iron. Hours behind, but hoping Mauler and Ryan disagree with the title. I know they love it.
You got your wish, Bonzo.
We loved it.
I didn't understand Rise of Skywalker because I didn't play Fortnite. Got my Dune popcorn bucket back from my big bro. He said he left a fat nut in it, but I couldn't find any nuts. I found some. Oh, Jesus Christ. God. Prepare for Gladiator 2. Yeah, you know, my favorite movie. I don't know what they're going to do with it. I hope Ridley Scott still got it. And
But one thing he's got is a budget. They've spent $310 million on it so far.
I saw that. Yeah, they went over budget.
By a little
Well,
bit. You know?
Hey, if anything's to go by on him, like, you know, adding on extra sequels to things that are beloved, like his Alien stuff was great, right?
Yeah.
Like, I really like Gladiator.
I don't unfamiliar with fucking Prometheus and Alien Covenant. Hello?
Well, yeah, like I'm not a massive Alien fan. I thought
I like Prometheus a lot.
Oh,
You didn't, right?
me?
Nope. Yeah.
I fucking hate that movie.
I heard a lot of Alien fans fucking hate that movie. But I don't like. I watched it once, but I'm not really into the franchise, so I don't really care. I don't think the Gladiator needs to be a franchise.
No shit.
So the idea that you're spending $310 million on, that's what I think is the crazy part. I don't mind them wanting to do a Gladiator 2. I get it. I didn't think that there should have been a Top Gun 2. I ended up loving Top Gun Maverick, 35 years after the fact.
Yeah.
But there's a difference when you're spending $180 million on a Tom Cruise fucking action flick like that versus $310 million on Gladiator 2 with like no returning characters, right? It's like I don't.
The only returning one would be Lucius's mother. I forgot her name.
Well, exciting.
Well, what the fuck? No. Well, yeah, Lucius could play. He would be literally the right age at this point. Who was the actor who played Lucius? What's his name? I don't know.
What else has Ridley Scott done lately? He did a Napoleon movie, right? Did you see that, Mahler?
Everyone loved that. That did well.
Yeah. Like that movie, at least you can look at it and be like, okay, Apple paid $200 million for this. And they were like, you know what? We can't make money on these things just on a streaming service. Fuck it. Let's just release it in theaters as well. Make any money we can off that and like pray for the best. So at least that movie like was never meant to be released in theaters and make money, I guess. You can like look at it from that perspective, but I certainly didn't get a bunch of praise.
Waller, do you think the reason Thrawn is an idiot is because he's gay? Much like we'll know ultra homosexual Tywin Lannister. Much love.
It's a reference to a very old EFAB episode where someone said that Tywin was the apex homosexual in Game of Thrones. I mean, the powers of gay can give you access to great wisdom or great retardation. You never know. So Thrawn, I guess he rolled the dice and he got unlucky.
Corned beef hash. What's up, man? Almost 2 years. Thank you. What's up, Michael? What's up, Stargrift? I love the dynamic you three have. Theory never changed. Ryan and Welshie working on him. Oh, and Mahler, you gay.
That's fair.
You can't say theory never change and then say Ryan and Mahler keep working on him. That would be implying we're trying to get him to change.
Well, I love when people are always like, "Oh, they're gonna change him and stuff." It's like, bro, I already have my opinions. I've had my opinion. Like, I already think Disney Star Wars is fucked. Like, I think it's horrible. But what I'm trying to do on my channel is it's me just trying to essentially look at, okay, here's the problem. How do we fix this shit? How would I go in and do that? I mean, I have like 10 million fan fictions on my channel. So I like to take stories and kind of examine, what could we change that would make it really cool or different? And that's essentially what I do with all of the Disney stuff that we get released. So unless it's really good, like Tales or Mando. So yeah, it's not like I'm sitting here like, this is amazing. Like, no, I mean, like, Qui-Gon should not have shown up in Obi-Wan. No one should know that Luke is Anakin's kid. No one should know where he is. Reva shouldn't have survived. Like, I make those very, very vocalized, but at the same time, sometimes they do catch me on, like, heartstrings and stuff. So it's like, it's like this battle between me as like a Star Wars fan, as like a little kid it was very important to me, and then there's like the me which is more logical. I'm like, oh, you're bastardizing something that I really cared about. So, and then while trying to find like a way out of this corner. So it's welcome to the channel. It's interesting how I navigate.
Sorry. Did you read EU Trilogy of Star Crusher? The Sun Crusher? Yeah, that was in the Jedi Apprentice trilogy. Sun Crusher was a super weapon that was developed by, again, a team whose like sole thing was to develop even more super weapons for the Emperor. And it was a prototype that it was a torpedo that you could fire at a sun to make it go supernova. So instead of just destroying one planet, you're destroying an entire fucking star system. And was used by Kip Duran to destroy the planet of Karita and its sun. Not a massive fan of the Jedi Apprentice trilogy, but they're kind of important.
I have not seen that. Prism Stories, What If?
You get alter, delete, rewrite one scene from each of the sequel movies. Which scenes are you picking and why? Assume these are compound, so they carry forward to the next movie arc, next movie, etc. I delete everything, bro. I ain't playing that game. Just delete it all.
Delete all the death scenes. And then fix them.
Delete all the death.
So if I could change one thing, it's that Finn, if I could change one thing in all of Star Wars, it would be that Finn dies in that fucking TIE fighter. Like that, when that TIE fighter goes down, that both Finn and Poe die, which should mean the rest of the fucking movie never happens.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Wait, how does it not happen?
Like, if Finn doesn't fucking all of a sudden happen upon Rey and like need help escape, like
yeah,
dumb bitch stays on Jakku forever.
Dave Filoni wants Gina to snap his saber in half. All right. Watching to see if a joke super chat was read. Nope. Close to Discord where you get shamed and run out for little. Alas, I shall just remain a watcher. What?
Don't know.
We read it all.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. You guys should watch Star Wars The Gray Fan film trailer with guys like Jedi game in the same format as Hogwarts Legacy, but at the temple. No, what I'd like is Helldivers 2, but Star Wars.
I'd be on board with that.
That'd be amazing. Thanks, Sand. Remember for 2 years. Stargrift is the only thing that brings me joy to life. Thanks for the great podcast, guys. Love the banter. Yeah, we love it too.
Love to hear it.
I'm sorry that your life is that bad.
I feel like I've got it's a boogie quote they're making fun of. Like, they have many joys in life. Okay, that's just one of them.
There you go.
Love the Bane trilogy, but only liked Heir to the Empire because it was written before the prequels. No prequel vibe and lore. How do you reconcile the lore? Thoughts?
Yeah, so there are obviously some differences in Heir to the Empire, because the only big difference is that George told people that there was a bigger gap between Clone Wars and the OT than there ended up being when he ended up deciding to change a little bit for the actual prequels. So a lot of the references and things like that are described as being a little bit older. There's a different name for the cloning tech they use, which never really comes up in Camino tech, but I don't know. It's pretty minimal to me, and I think if you understand the context and that George's instructions changed like they sometimes do, you know. I think that most people, even when they read it now for the first time, it doesn't affect them too much.
Who's more masculine, Dave Filoni or Gina?
Mm.
Force facial. Each of your top 3 lightsaber hilts. Palpatine, Anakin.
I love Obi-Wan's.
Malgus is dope as shit. So is Revan's.
I'll go Vader, Obi-Wan, and Dooku.
I think Obi-Wan's is badass. I don't think there's quite anything that can top Maul. Just from the perspective of being in a theater when that happened, when we saw that happen, you know what I mean? Fucking igniting that other side was fucking wild. And so like Maul's lightsaber hilt always stands out to me. I don't know.
Palpy, good. Your excitement gives you focus. Force him to read the Thrawn trilogy already.
Mauler can't read. But there is a great audiobook out there.
Let's try this. Love the show. I have no opinions. All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Man. Recently watched Nerdonymous videos about the sequels, and I would highly recommend them. He delves into the JJ being a bigger problem than people realize, and not just Ryan J. Super detailed sources.
Yep.
Mauler, I've been telling you to watch those forever, man.
What do you mean? Fucking wait. God damn it. Yeah, those are the ones I recommended you guys check out.
He's been telling us about that for a month. Yeah. Thank you, Lindy.
Thanks, Cody. Theory, why skip the naughty chats? Those are the fun ones. Sometimes they're too naughty, man. YouTube's got guidelines, especially if the image is like a naked person.
To be fair, half of them he doesn't understand they're naughty till he's halfway through, so you guys still get those.
Yeah, literally. I'm pretty sure I read all of them, man. Theory, do you like Troy Denning's Star Wars novels? Who's Troy Denning again?
He's an author.
I
I really like a lot of Troy Denning stuff.
Oh, shit. Old school.
Yes. Yeah.
Crucible.
Stuff that I like.
He did Fate of the Jedi?
He did 3 books in Fate of the Jedi.
Oh, shit.
So Fate of the Jedi was done by a team of 3 authors. So was Legacy of the Force, which was right before that as well. I think Denning did the Swarm War books, which are not my favorites, but they're all right. He also wrote some of the best stuff in NJO, like Star by Star, which is probably one of my favorite Star Wars books of all time. Star by Star takes place about halfway through the Yuzong Vong War in the New Jedi Order.
Very cool. Waller, please make an April Fool's review video. The Clone Wars episode Bombad Jedi. I will give you so much money.
What's funny is I would have seen that one, and I'm now looking at. So for anyone who doesn't know, right? Anyone out there who's like, "Wait, Bombad Jedi? That sounds amazing." So, on a diplomatic mission to the planet Rhodia, Padme discovers that her old friend and fellow Republic Senator Anaconda Farr has allied with the Separatists. In exchange for food and resources for his people, Anaconda captures Padme and promises to deliver her to Newt Gunray. Sensing Padme is in trouble, Jar Jar Binks disguises himself as a Jedi, and with the help of C-3PO, courageously fights to rescue his friend and fellow senator. It does sound pretty top tier.
That description
Hey,
sounds
don't
way
knock
less
until you see it.
goofy than the actual fucking episode is.
Isn't that where he falls in love with
Any episode with Jar Jar is like fucking. It's either like the best thing or the worst thing, depending on how you like think of it.
Yeah, I agree. Hope you have a nice night having it with you. Right on, Phantom. Hey, we thank you guys for watching with us, man. We love you guys. What's up, Just Please?
That's Michael. That's gay actor Michael Douglas.
Gay actor Michael Douglas. I'm sad that the planet, Ord Mantell, and the character IG-88 aren't in Battlefront 2. Maybe they'll be added as a DLC somewhere. What if Elon Musk bought Star Wars and decanonized everything Disney made and just made one Jar Jar movie and that was it?
That'd be preferable to what we have now.
Yeah,
The greatest move ever, yeah.
Yeah. You think he's gonna buy it?
No.
No.
I'm finna live forever. No saber can kill this queen. Ah, fuck!
How did you read that, man?
The fact that he read it the way he did without seeing Darth Shanique.
Right, are we like you? I read this before
KFC
I read it out. You know
Empress.
what I mean? Like with super chats, I tend to read them and then read them out. You know what I mean?
I always read I read the name and then I read their chat. I like the way Theory does it though.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for your service, Ryan. Love you guys. Love the show. Best part of my weeks lately.
Thank you, Foster. It's the same as every other clone. I don't.
Ryan's
Yeah, this is my Laku.
so good a pretty face. And
Even I know what
Rebels.
that means.
All right. Want to see more games like Lucasfilm used to produce back in the day. I know a lot of those games weren't the best, but they sure did fuel my. Okay, hey chat, calm down. Let's not get racist, man. I didn't see the name. All right.
I didn't see.
I
the
didn't
bucket of KFC.
I don't. I just
Profile
go
picture.
boom, 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 and then I don't. And then I know that a lot of those games weren't the best, but they sure did fuel my fandom as a kid and enrich my experience.
I agree. I think that was like the heyday when they saw a popular type of game, whether it was first person shooter or real time strategy game or RPG or whatever, and they're like, hey, let's do this with Star Wars. Let's come up with a cool story. We can make something work, and we'll put out a bunch of stuff. We'll work with a bunch of different companies. We'll put out a lot of games, and had a couple bad ones, but you also had some of the best fucking games that were ever made, in that era. So I totally agree.
Can anyone please tell me how Kathleen Kennedy is still in charge? She did some good things, but most of her decisions hurt Star Wars.
I hear she's out any day now.
All right.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, who told you that one?
Rufus.
Little birdie.
We need a live-action Clone Wars trilogy. Thoughts?
We've had
Yes.
7 seasons of Clone Wars.
Yeah, but live action with Hayden and the actress. I don't know her name. I'd watch
Ariana
that,
Greenblatt.
Ariana Greenblatt is her name.
Yeah, I'd sit for that. She did great.
I thought she was better than Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Which is
I'm
a low
inclined to agree
bar,
with that.
but I personally don't think that's something we need. I don't think we need live action Clone Wars when you have 7 seasons of Clone Wars. It's already too much to fit in that time era anyway. Personally, Clone Wars takes place over what 18 months.
And a KK that forced Palpy and probably, bro. Question for all three: speech monologue from Andor show. Huh?
Do you like it?
Oh, is that what he's saying?
I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Andor was the best produced Star Wars show to date. Easily. Sadly. I feel like Kenobi should have had the most production value.
Are they asking what our favorite speeches?
Did we like Skarsgård's speech? Did we
Probably
like the
Luthen,
speech
yeah.
at the end?
Luthen.
I don't know exactly if that is what the question is, but I like Luthen personally. I think he's the best part of the show.
Yeah, what was the
Yeah,
one
I'd
you
agree with
said that was really dope at the end?
Well, his speech is all about how much he had to destroy himself to be able to give the rebellion a chance, right?
Yeah, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Marva's speech was a little. I don't really care about that. Question for all three: what's the best?
there you
model? Oh, I see.
I like your profile picture.
Theory is truly one of the creators of all time.
That's
true.
high praise. That's high praise. You're truly one of the creators of all time.
Thank you, sir. Not whether you like Andor or not. I meant Andor is objectively high quality. Yeah, I don't disagree. We don't like sequels, like you said. I'd say Andor fans love the prequels and OT the most and hate the sequels. All the best. Enjoying. Would you?
And they love cheese and wine.
I don't know. I haven't looked into like the Andor fan base to see what they typically enjoy. Like if there's an Andor subreddit or an Andor forum that they talk about stuff. But I mean, I don't know.
Not a ton of people watched it, you know, and it's when it initially came out. Just, I mean, right around just slightly less than watched Ahsoka when it came out, I guess. I don't really know what the Andor fan base looks like because I think that one. There are fan bases we look at them, we're like, hey, look, this says this on Twitter or whatever. We can like see where they're at. But I think for some things, if the audience tends to skew a little bit older, you don't often see that because they're not sitting there tweeting about every episode or watching every, you know, they're not watching right when it comes out, but there's still a big audience for it. Kind of like the Reacher audience on Amazon. I think the Reacher audience tends to skew a little bit older. You don't see all the social media interaction, but it's dominating ratings wise. So it's got a big audience. They just might not be active on a social media site.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's usually the ones that are most vocal are the minority, like Hayden said. Sometimes.
It is cool that when you review Andor positively, like you just get sent wine. It's fucking crazy. It's really cost effective too. Yeah, cheese comes like you get a tap installed for the cheese.
Yeah, depends on what cheese though.
Melted.
You can kind of choose. Depends on how much you show for it. You get like special selections. With the top tier one being, I don't know what.
Brie, like my favorite Marvel actress.
You better hold on to that Marvel's appearance. She might never come back. Might be the last one.
I made a video about it today.
Is she not?
She looked good in that dress at the SAG Awards. So, can you go back to that super chat from Mikey? You didn't answer him.
What's it like bench pressing Lizzo? My bench is pretty weak actually, and I think I bench 310. It's the most I bench on a good day. I don't know what Lizzo weighs.
I bet she smells.
Who knows? It smells like royalty. Hey, Theory, are there any Dark Horse Clone Wars characters that you wished showed up in the Filoni version? I wish we saw Dirge, Sor Bulk, and Tol Score.
Sora would be cool.
I want to see Tulak Horde.
Oh yeah. I think that the Dark Horse Clone Wars comics and everything, I think those are really well done. And I think there was such a fucking tight timeline. Like before TCW, this is one of the things I really like. Before TCW, you could you knew who was where, like who was on what planet in what sector. There was like a week by week, month by month breakdown of the Clone Wars. And it all really made sense and worked together. And then Clone Wars happened. So
yeah, Dirge would have been cool. Waller, can you do a Liverpool Scouse accent?
They're like Liverpool, like the lad who came on fucking Open Bar, Reaper. I think he's from Liverpool. It would take me a while to be able to do it properly. It's a really specific kind of accent.
What's Cockney?
Poor people.
Poor English. You put it that way.
So, like, what's the one Tom Hardy did in the movie where he has a twin brother?
I don't think I saw that movie.
Venom.
You've said that before.
Fucking weird.
It must have been funny then if I wanted to say it again.
Yeah, Venom.
We must have had this exact conversation before.
Oh God, I'm late. Gee and a spa. I don't know if I can use any words now. More money for you chaps.
Thank you, Bonzo. I almost said Bozo. Thank you, Bonzo.
Theory, been a while since. Congrats on your Saber sight. Tons of support from Australia, and I really hope to see you and beat you in Battlefront 2. I keep dreaming, baby. You guys don't know how long I've been playing JK2, man. It's basically the same sort of schematics. But we're on controller, so you might have the upper hand. You guys recommend Fallen Order and Survivor? I do, yeah. Fallen Order for sure. For sure.
I don't hate them. Souls Light with Star Wars. Yeah.
If Disney were to come out and say any fan film made during 24 can be monetized and they would not challenge it, except porn, do you think this could save Star Wars and bring us some good content? I don't think it would make a difference. Whether it's monetized or not. I mean, people who make... The reason fan films are so great is because you can't make money from them.
Yeah.
Well, mind you, I see a lot of people still monetizing them, and Disney doesn't say shit unless it's my stuff. But I think one of the reasons they're so great is because it's not coming from a place of, ooh, what can I do to make money? It's coming from a place of, like, I love this. I'm going to put money into this.
Yeah.
To not make any money, and just because I love it. That's it. That's why they're cool. Ryan's thoughts on race swapping Ron and all the Weasleys to Mexican and you playing Lucius Malfoy in the reboot?
One, I hope they don't race swap any of the characters. But if they do, I want them to go all out. Like, if they do race swap the characters, yes, I want you to go all the way. Make the Weasleys the poorest family in the world black. Do it. All right, I fucking dare you. Please don't race swap any characters in the Harry Potter reboot. I would love to play Lucius Malfoy, though. Let me do it. I'll dye my hair for it. I'll wear a wig. I don't care what I have to do. I'd love to play Lucius.
That'd be amazing. Favorite Star Wars novel and comic?
You filthy little mudblood.
Plagueis, and then
I like Legacy. I like the Legacy comics. That's probably my favorite like comic book experience. It's the
Ghost
Legacy run.
Prison. Darth Vader in the Ghost Prison.
My favorite Star Wars novel. I mentioned it. We'll say Star by Star. I kind of change it every so often, but I'll say Star by Star.
We need another race of aliens in Helldivers 2. Maybe something that resembles... Yeah, we do, man. Just the freaking automatons and the bugs don't really... We need more. What kind of cheese and wine do you like, Mahler?
I don't drink wine like ever. And then cheese. Favorite cheese. Probably cheddar.
I actually have like a bunch of cheese, like little like that I like cheese in my fridge right now that I'll snack on. I usually have it with bourbon though, not wine. I don't know what that says about me.
I like Brie.
I like Brie Larson.
Cheese. Well, she's good looking.
Mm-hmm. And she liked my tweet.
Did she?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Ryan would bench press Brie Larson.
I could bench press Brie Larson. But I don't think she weighs very much, so it's not very impressive. Yeah, it was like it was some like Fortnite thing. She had a character in Fortnite, and I won. Like I played with her character, I won. I took a screenshot and just won my match and with this character. Thanks, Brie. And I didn't even tag her or anything like that. And she liked the tweet. And I didn't even say anything about it. But a bunch of people had a fucking meltdown because they could see that she liked my tweet. Oh. And they're like, they started tagging her. They're like, you don't know who this is. You shouldn't be liking this tweet. You need to unlike this tweet. You don't understand. It was fucking really funny. So then I made a video about how Brie Larson's under attack because she tried to associate with me.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
would have been so funny if she like
with you by liking a tweet.
Imagine she like came to your house and recorded a video with you to be like, I really like the tweet. What can I say? I want to stand by Ryan's tweet.
Dude, I've said it before. Like I think that Brie got fucking a lot of heat for a couple things she said. I don't think she's said anything like really worth being too critical of in the past like 5 fucking years. Like,
oh yeah, dude, she learned quickly, I think, but it took a while for everyone to realize that.
I agree, and so I didn't even have a YouTube channel when Captain Marvel came out, and I certainly think the product is very worthy of criticism. But in terms of her, like. I'm sure we don't agree politically, but I really have no problem with Brie Larson.
You didn't have a YouTube channel when Captain Marvel came out? Wasn't that like 3 years ago?
That was in 2019.
2019, yeah.
It came out in April of 2019.
Oh, shit, you didn't have a YouTube channel then?
No.
Oh, dude, you're doing amazing.
I started my YouTube channel in like August or September or something of 2019, yeah.
But you've been on YouTube, though, because you were with Jeremy.
No, that was like I started my YouTube channel the same day I started working for Jeremy. I'd never done a YouTube thing in my life before I started working with Geeks and Gamers.
Fucking right on, man.
Jeremy's like retarded. So he met me in a bar and was like, "Hey, you seem like you know what you're talking about Star Wars. If you ever want to start a YouTube channel, let me know." And I'm like, "Okay." So I did. And
That's how it happened, really?
yes.
Fuck?
So it was, yeah. So I guess it's been a while since I've told this story, but I was in San Diego. Gary and Jeremy, Gary from Nerdrotic and Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, were in San Diego for San Diego Comic-Con. This is before their channels were really that big or whatever. And they did a little meetup at a bar. There was like 7 people there. I was one of the people that showed up. So I was watching the channel. I was in the Navy at the time. I had no plans on starting a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to him about shit and, with sports, DC, Star Wars. I was bitching about Clone Wars even back then. I started arguing with Jeremy about the character of Ahsoka, like in the middle of this bar in San Diego. And separately, about 10 minutes apart, Gary came up and he was like, "Hey, you really know your shit. You should think about starting a YouTube channel." I was like, "Well, that's cool. I had never thought about that." And then Jeremy, 10 minutes later, not knowing that Gary had said that, came up and said the same thing with the caveat, "If you ever do, I want to work with you." And I was like, "Okay, that's wild." So I took like a couple days to think about it, and I was like, "Yeah, I'd give it a shot." And here we are.
Dude, this is awesome. I never knew. So you guys just randomly met in a bar?
Well, I went there because they were there for Comic-Con. They said, "Hey, we're going to be here for a while." It was a little meetup. But back then,
so
this is
you were
before the
like a
meetups were
fan.
hundreds of people. Yeah, I was a fan. This is before the
Holy
meetups
shit.
were hundreds of people. This is when the meetups were like 7 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're my internet dads, my gay internet dads.
Yeah, that's really
Aw.
that's a cool origin story. I like that.
Yeah.
It's a
And then I made a Batman review and it all went downhill.
Yeah. So you guys need to play Von Rum's Battlefront 2 mods and take away the sequels and replaces them with EU content. Sweet.
I love that profile picture. It's not a racist one.
Flood it
It's
again.
not racist. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
You don't get it?
It's like God. It's like God.
Jesus?
Look at flooded again.
What do they mean? Like take another hit?
No.
Like destroy the fucking world, kill everybody.
Oh, Flood. Noah's Ark,
fuck,
flood.
dude. Oh
Noah.
my god, Jesus.
It's all right.
Mahler, what'd you think of the cereal scene?
Top tier.
Cereal.
They tell you everything you need to know about not only cereal, but also Cyril.
Ryan, I bet she smells.
Talk about Lizzo, not Brie.
Brie probably smells amazing.
She looks like she smells awesome. Yeah.
She looks like she smells really good. Can't
Probably
wait.
It probably tastes good.
I was waiting for him to turn the camera off.
What? What is that? Like, that's me appreciating women, right?
I remember that FNT episode where you were like desperately trying to argue she is the way she looked in like some kind of
Her bra.
like, premiere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone was like trying to argue his push up or whatever, and you were like, no. Damn it,
What?
no.
I was like, yeah, obviously it's a bra. Like it's doing what bras do to women. But it's like, and then do you
Oppression.
yeah, and then like do you see the picture of her from the what is it, the freaking Fast and Furious premiere? It's like, come on, you can't tell me she's not well endowed for someone of her build. She looks really good. I'm respecting women right now.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
I
he's
think
respectable.
she's super attractive.
It would be misogynistic for me not to say I
Oh,
want to go
dude,
down on her.
there was like an Eve.
It would be. Come on. What are we doing here?
Anyway, oh look, can't wait to hear Mola try a Welsh accent. Well, Welsh accents are easy for me because that's where I'm from, so I can do them all the time. Like, totally slip in and out. Like, but it's the other ones I have trouble with. I don't even know what my accent's called anymore.
Yeah, what would it be?
I think it's custom at this
I
point.
call it the Mauler.
Genuinely, I've spoken to Americans for too long, and then too much stuff has come into my accent now. So that if I speak to someone from Wales, they're like, "Eh." Though I'm assuming you guys are the same. If I speak to someone who's like super Welsh, then my Welsh gets like accentuated and comes out more.
Yeah, if you spend time with somebody that has a particular inflection, you tend to pick up some of their stuff. Yeah.
Theory, give Ryan and Mahler lightsabers to do a live unpaid review. Would just love to see you three two wielding laser swords. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna send both of them sabers. Probably in about less than a month.
Oh yeah.
Once the full site's up, I want them to go through it and be like, I want that one. Okay, all right.
Hell yeah.
And then we're also going to do tons of giveaways during live streams. There's going to be discount codes that you can just enter in at checkout. So I'll just like give select few some members, depending on your tier, give you guys percentages off your whole order. There's a lot of really intricate stuff coming in. So we're going to do contests, giveaways, raffles. A lot of fun stuff coming. Keeping it hush hush for now until all is revealed. That tastes like bat cheese. All right.
That is your favorite cheese, Mauler?
So, the streams be a vibe. These streams get longer and longer. I remember when I started this with Muller, he's like, I really can't go over 2 hours.
Yeah, now we
like,
double. We just did 2 shows in 1 week.
Yeah, we should try to limit them a little more.
How do we do 2 shows in 1 week?
What I mean is,
Like last week?
Yeah, he means these last 2 have been 4 hours, basically.
They made Cyril's mom a stereotypical Jewish mom.
did they?
I don't know. Was she Jewish?
She's just like overbearing.
Like overly doting, maybe. I am not Jewish, so I don't really know what a Jewish mom would be like. But
Muller's accent is Molsh.
Molsh. Sure.
I was driving when you mentioned this, but why would you debate a grown man named Destiny?
Destiny is a girl's name.
He is true, and you know what? He's the debate lord. So if you defeat him in the marketplace of ideas, then we can prove definitively that the prequels are better than the sequels. So you know, what's better than that?
Would you guys be cool with a Star Wars story based on the Republic Intelligence Corps, with Shadow Company at the helm, tackling behind-the-scenes dilemmas with expensive clone armor and stealth ops?
I don't know about the expensive clone armor part, but I am open to delving into a lot of different realms of Star Wars they haven't necessarily seen. Like, even though I don't like Andor as like, I don't like the character of Cassian Andor, right? I don't like Diego Luna. I don't like Cassian Andor. I don't like his particular story. However, the idea of more shit like that is what I do like. I do think that's what Star Wars needs to do more of. Not everything has to tie in to the 5 best characters in all of Star Wars, and the most important characters. Not everything has to tie back to the Force. Not everything has to be super like, I'm doing this decision to save the galaxy. You know?
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good face.
Yeah. Waller could do a Welsh accent without vowels.
Like how they
Without
added
vowels?
the Star Grift logo there.
How do you do words without vowels?
Where?
Isn't that just like Russian?
Oh, yeah, he added it. Right. What if Disney made a special edition of the sequel trilogy, taking out Luke thinking of killing Ben Solo and adding Anakin near the end of Rise of Skywalker?
I don't.
Oh,
How does that fix Force Awakens?
that
It's like, how does that fix the entire state of the galaxy?
Doesn't.
Yeah, it's a drop in the bucket in terms of like the repairs that need to be made.
How does that like fix Luke deciding to go away? Period.
Yeah, fix Luke not dying. Fix Luke not using the Force. Fix Luke, Han, and Leia getting together. Fix your overall plot. Fix
Just
Rey
say
not having any
everything.
training.
It's just everything.
Bring them all back.
I've never agreed with Ryan Moore.
I'm scared to know what that was about, Kinsley.
Probably Brie Larson.
Probably Brie Larson. Yeah.
Well, that wraps up the stream for here tonight. We appreciate you. We're about 4 hours in, just about. If y'all can leave a big fat like on the stream,
There's your double show.
we
2
sure
episodes.
appreciate it. Yeah, 2 episodes right there. Got 2 episodes last week. And we appreciate you. So make sure you check out TheorySabers.com. Full site coming in a month. And check out these good here fellas right below me and tier to my right, my left.
Beautiful.
I get confused.
Yeah, I say hold up your hands, whichever one has the L, but damn it if I can't read. So kind of shit out of luck.
What if I'm standing in front of a mirror? It gets all confusing.
gets all kabobbled and discombobulated. I don't know how it goes, but yeah. Y'all take care now. We'll see y'all next week for the next episode of the Bad Bitch. Bad Bitch.
Bad bitch.
That bad bitch. Oh yeah.
All right.
I'd rather watch a show called The Bad Bitch.
Okay, bye.
Just saying. I can see myself, my old eyes above me.
I was just gonna say, it's really creepy, man.
Oh no.
Yeah, thanks to whoever made it, though. That's very nice of you, but
Thank you for making me look as miserable as I feel.
I love it.
it's so creepy, man. All right, well, we'll see you guys later. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.